Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Call of the Abyss. My a little reminder: this is an 18 plus stream, and I am a professional streamer who will never fumble over my words. So let me just start with. Again, this is an 18 plus stream. If you are not 18 and above, please click out now. And we also have a guest tonight. I'm scared. Anyway, let's introduce the cast member. I am Rina playing Scarlett Leon. Bully.
Oh, we're on it this time. I'm Bully, and I'm clearly playing Toledo, the Banu Hakim cowboy priest.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I'll be playing Fletcher Wright, the Gangrel war vet.
And I'm Prince, and I'll be playing Prince Jackson.
And I'm Lou, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Previously in our chronicle, our Kindred had gotten themselves into quite a bit of trouble after being in trouble already. With Emily and Alice's lives on the line, our Gangrel var vet decided to perhaps let fate decide what would happen to the sisters. Ironically, fate had our Banu Hakim intervene as he made it there just in time to feed some of his blood to Emily, pulling her from death's door. The coterie then headed off to hunt down Genghis and tracked him a ways away from their airport up north. Another assassination was in motion as Fletcher made the mortals of the area flee and scatter while Toledo put a special stake through the heart of the Anarch legend, effectively destroying him. This, of course, did not sit well with Sergeant Wright, as revenge was not delivered by his hands, resulting in a frenzy. Two state kindred and a masquerade breach later, or multiple, the next evening rolled about with an emergency Elysium called. The reason? The attack on Chicago by the Jesters, and a very special appearance in the city of someone you do not want to cross. The Justicar by the name of Lady Lucinde is conducting her investigation of these red-robed individuals and has begun speaking with every kindred one by one. With our coterie's recent shenanigans, especially Scarlett's acts of diablerie, what lies in wait for them as the ventral Justicar delivers a swift punishment? Let's find out with this episode as we start off rewinding time a little bit, the beginning of this Elysium before everyone got here. We find ourselves once again in the University of Chicago library. In the white halls and the white floors and marble tiles and things like that, we see books sort of encompassing the entirety of this chamber. Within the upper floors, the upper deck of this particular library, we see a private meeting being held. Within are a few individuals. The first is the prince himself, sitting there. Perhaps with a look of maybe annoyance, as this was a very early Elysium. Across from him is Damien. They seem to be waiting for a certain somebody to walk in. Of course, you've already been informed who this individual is, Prince Jackson. And just as you wait there, will be only a few minutes roll by before the door swings open, and the gentle but very, very powerful presence of a Justicar walks in. Her long dark hair is sort of done up in a ponytail, and she wears a black and white trench coat. She walks in with her amber orange eyes. She glares at Damien and upon you. Prince Jackson, It's good to see you.
You as well, Lady Lucinde. What brings you to this neck of the woods?
She eyes Damon up and down. And she turns to you. What do you think?
Well, I like to get all our cards on the table initially, but there's been some things that have gone a hair off the rails. Nothing that I can't handle, but I appreciate any of the help that you are willing to provide.
This attack on Chicago. If this was any other city, I'd have ignored it. But they sent me in here to investigate within my own interests in hand. Who do you think is responsible for the bombing? Muted.
Jackson looks at Damien and says, well, what have you found out, Sheriff?
Nothing good. Whispers say it's the Anarchs who did it. Some say it's some sort of terrorist organization. Or maybe it's those red-cloaked clowns everyone's, that coterie's been talking about.
Lady Lucinde, do you know anything about some folks wearing red cloaks and doing evil deeds? Or is this just some made-up story to throw the scent off their backs?
I've been following their movements all throughout Europe in the recent years. Although this blatant disrespect for the city, it could be them, could be some other group. But I can definitely tell this is not their usual style. They're called the Jesters, or at least that's what they've been called because of the masks they wear and the red robes they so hide themselves within.
Any idea of the leadership?
She looks at the table before you, the long oak table before you. You can see all the paperwork and whatnot that's probably scattered about. And she looks towards you. As far as I know, they do not have a leader. They seem to act on their own, with their agendas. What I do know is that they've been scouring the world for artifacts.
Then blowing up a building would have only been to cover their tracks.
Perhaps.
Doesn't seem very much like the Chicago Anarchs.
She raises an eyebrow.
I tend to have them a little on proof. Nah, not yet. But perhaps we can find it. And one of the biggest rabble rousers, is no longer around.
I see. I will conduct an investigation starting tonight. Elysium will take place in a few moments. And I want every Kindred's input regarding the situation.
I will not stand in your way. Actually, I will let you run the Elysium tonight. I believe that this is a good opportunity to make sure that the young ones know how the Camarilla is structured. Make sure there's no confusion as you go about your investigation. We are on the same team, aren't we?
She looks at you dead in the eyes with no expression on her face. Of course, Prince Jackson. Now, let me ask you something. Just as out of respect for your domain, for your city, that you so love. How would you handle any of the kindred of your city if they were to be involved with said organization?
I'm of two minds of this. We could use them potentially to find out their connections, perhaps work our way to the top, or punish them. Make an example of them. And if it turns out that we absolutely have evidence of it, then we destroy them.
How would you punish said kindred?
My methods tend to be somewhat unconventional, but generally speaking, pain is a hell of a teacher.
You see just the tips of her, at the sides of her lips kind of curl up as you mention those words. Very well. You think the Anarchs are not responsible for this thing?
I think the Anarchs, if they were, on the possibility, but if they were, they'll walk themselves into a trap.
Interesting.
Genghis was an idiot. And I suspect that many of the other ones are as well. But they say, keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. And thus, I keep tabs on the local Anarchs. They are generally not worth my attention.
So you say. What about the incident at the hospital?
Well, I think we'll handle it.
A primogen disappearing because of these red-robed individuals. A few masquerade breaches.
This is why I suspect you're here, so we can handle this together. Jason was not exactly a friendly type, but him disappearing without a sign, nor peep, doesn't seem quite right. I suspect someone got to him.
Did he have any enemies in the city that was so either blatant or anything that you know of?
Out of character, would would Jackson have any idea of people who had it out for him?
Intelligence and politics.
All right.
You have a +1 because you are the Prince of Chicago, and Chicago is your domain. I didn't add his specialties, but you do have. I'm pretty sure you have a politics extra here.
Okay. You said +1?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like the willpower reroll?
Yes.
Sure. You can reroll up to 3 dice.
Uh,
You can get something with those 3 successes, but with 3
boom,
more,
shakalaka.
holy shit. Okay. With 6 successes. The very first thing that pops into your head, Prince Jackson, is Jason Newberry's irrational fear and hatred of the Lucinde. At every single Elysium that the Lucinde were involved, he has made a scene, he has caused a ruckus, he is outspoken, even answered towards you without question. He did not stand by the vote for the Lucinde to join the Camarilla. And as mentioned, he was not very friendly towards them. So perhaps, maybe the Lucinde had something to do with this. The second of all, thing is that Newberry was not very liked at all by Camarilla Kindred. With the way he is, the way how unnerving his presence is whenever he enters the room, nobody really tends to like someone like that, especially a psychopath like him.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very known fact that he did not care about anything at all except for himself, as well as his own agendas. The very last thing is that Newberry is an Alcavian privilegian. And also that there's a stigma with the Alcavians, especially with how few they are here in the city, that perhaps they're not exactly liked either. It could be one of these 3 things, or it could be a culmination of all of them.
Yeah, and I'd pass that on to the Justicar.
So the Lucinde are involved then. Not just one, but the organization, their own clan, the Keepers, of which you facilitated into joining the Camarilla.
Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the Lucinde have done it. Just worth keeping an eye on. And I believe the Camarilla are stronger with the clans that we have recently assimilated than we are without them. We are trying to get back to the old ways, traditions and all that.
Were they not the leaders of the Sabbat before? I was surprised at this.
Not
You
over
would
all of
recommend-
history. But yes. But the Sabbat are gone.
I have a
And
suspicion.
we no longer have the Bruja or the Gangrel.
Now you have the Banu Hakim.
Indeed. And now we have the Lucinde as well. Does this not make us stronger?
We'll have to see, Prince Jackson.
Yes, we will.
But I have a suspicion that these jesters might be part of something much like the Sabbat. They're working on something, and I will find out what it is. Whoever they're involved with, I will get my answers.
I have been keeping our eyes out for mass embraces and masquerade violations of the high level. But they seem to be a little bit more secretive than the Sabbat as we knew them.
Hence That's why I'm here. Elysium will begin soon. I must take my leave.
The floor is yours.
She just nods at you politely. She steps out of the room. With Damien shutting the door behind her, you see his tensioned shoulders kind of release just for a moment as he looks at you. He shakes his head. This can't be good.
Keep an eye on Sierra and Scarlett.
Yes, my prince.
Their every move, I want to know them.
We've had eyes on the Diamond Yama for a while now.
I suspected so, but dot my I's and crossing my T's. Thank you, Damien.
Just nods politely as he steps out of the room as well. The scene cuts there as we fast forward just a little bit of time to Fletcher Wright. As you walk around the Elysium right now, Scarlett and Toledo have been with Lucinde for some time now after she had just threatened to cut one of your arms off. If it wasn't for your history with the sectoire, you know that she could have delivered swift punishment towards you. So, what do we see Fletcher doing right now? You did notice Toledo, as he stepped out of the room earlier, collecting Scarlett with only one of his arms.
Fletcher is both pissed off that Toledo's arm is missing and secretly satisfied that something happened to him at the same time. But again, just as with the Camarilla, it's never an eye for an eye. It's always an eye for an eye and a leg and an arm. He is currently pacing. He thinks in his own head that he is checking to make sure that nobody leaves and nothing happens, but in reality he's pacing back and forth, and he's still very disturbed over the labyrinth, and it's been weighing on him for quite some time now, and the visions of his wife and then what happened to Alice, all of it's collapsed, and is like, his shoulders are so tense that you could probably break boulders off of them right now. And I think he still hasn't had that catharsis of something. He's been so close to it so much recently, but he hasn't had it. And so he is very on edge right now, very almost like a nicotine addict. He's got these little small things. His fingers are twiddling, his shoulders hunch, and he's pacing back and forth, not actually paying attention to anything around him, just maybe pounding his feet a bit too hard on the ground.
As you are lost in this state of frustration and lack of that emotional breakthrough, the muddled words of the muddled echoes of your name sort of ring out to you as you hear the word Fletcher. 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 As you come to, you would notice Rosa Hernandez in front of you, the gangrel primogen, long dark hair, still a cigarette perched on her lip. It's not lit at the moment, though.
Hey, Rosa. What is it?
You all right?
Very not all right in this current moment, but I'll deal with that later. Right now, I've got other things to deal with.
Right. She just studies you in this moment. She's probably never seen you like this before. Or maybe she has, but not to this state, especially in Elysium. Do you just walk away?
I think I pause for a second, and if there's nothing, if neither of us say anything, he'll just give a small nod and continue his pacing.
Yeah, you can tell that she is about to say something, but given your state, your mental state, she opens her mouth, but no words come out. Do you do anything else?
I think I'm waiting for this to wrap up after a bomb has just gone off in such a close location to the Succubus Club. Having everybody here together is also making him a little bit nervous.
True. If that's the case, you don't have anyone else to speak with at the moment. The scene would cut to just as Lucinde brings down that blade down to Scarlett's throat. You see just the tip of it shine right now as it touches barely the skin of your neck. She looks towards you, Scarlett, eye to eye. You can tell that there is this presence being unleashed by her. Something terrifying. As you look into her eyes, go ahead and roll your resolve and composure.
I got a 4.
For now, you feel as if just standing next to her, your legs start to shake. The way she looks at you, you can't tell what she's thinking. Her eyes are cold, colder than you've ever seen anyone's. Then she turns to Toledo. She turns towards you once again. What does a neonate like you know about the traditions? Do not answer for her.
Well, I learned it from school. First tradition is don't break the masquerade.
Yes. And what happened last night would constitute as what?
Breaking the masquerade?
Another tradition was broken the previous evening. Do you know what it was? Don't know. Destruction. You should know what that is, neonate. Have you not delivered one's destruction recently? The final death. Answer the question.
I have.
Then what have you learned so far? Tell us. A fitting punishment for those who break the masquerade, as well as destroy one that was not given the right. Without being given the right to destroy. You feel the edge of the blade etching upon your skin. does not draw blood, but she seems to keep it there. It's light. You know, with its quick slash or quick reflexive action, she can do some damage. Would you like some help from your dear mentor?
No.
Then,
As per tradition, any kindred who breaks any of the traditions will be met with final death.
tell me why you don't deserve the final death at the moment.
Because we're still not done trying to look for the jesters that the prince has ordered us to do.
Not good enough. What would you know about the jesters?
Well, I know that they were in Russia.
As do I.
And they're following somebody named the Dark Mistress.
What else?
The Thin Bloods might be connected to the Jesters.
In what way?
They were sharing around this blood drug a few years back. And that's also when the Jesters made their appearances to us. And nobody believed us that the Jesters were real. Until now.
So you would say that these red-cloaked clowns have been subtle about their movements, given that you have experience with them yourself.
I've seen them in action. They just appear out of nowhere and then they disappear if you don't keep your eye on them. It's very frustrating to follow.
I don't mean to interject, but I see your line of questioning where it's going, and you're kind of skipping over a major detail, and I'd like to save everyone time, if I may.
Her eyes glance toward you, Toledo.
Yeah, you're saying they're subtle, and I'm sure your next line of questioning is the bombing isn't their style or this or that. I tell you the truth, I don't know who the fuck did the bombing. But are we all just ignoring the fact that the whole hit on the Primogen The multiple reports of Shadow Oblivion-based Masquerade breaches that happen in there. People seeing people in red cloaks and masks walking out of the hospital. I've noticed no one's brought that up. Everyone's like, what's going on? And I got people, I got contacts, word on the street. Seems there might be a couple clues that no one's mentioned.
Her blade etches deeper and deeper into her skin. As she says to you, Toledo, you seem to be well informed of this attack.
Yeah, when there's that many human witnesses, word gets around.
You do realize it was covered up.
You do realize you didn't do a great job, right? I mean, I would think you would want to know that. If you think it's covered up, wouldn't you want someone to let you know, hey, it's not covered up? You got some leaks in the ship?
Perhaps you should
Trying to
read a
help you.
newspaper.
Yeah, it's covered up. You've done your job on the main stage sense, but I'm letting you know there's people out there who saw some things. This day and age is... Fortunately, it's not as easy as it was back in our day, was it? But anyway, just trying to help. I believe you were threatening Scarlett. Proceed.
She unleashes her presence right now. Go ahead and roll your resolve and composure, Toledo. She will roll her daunt. Actually, she can try to do dread gaze, but for now, she's just released her daunt.
Resolve composure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some rousing. Five?
Ties go to the player. As this presence fills the room right now. You feel that there is something about her that you've perhaps struck a nerve. You realize soon enough that she is of the clan Ventru, as the way she holds her pride up, the way you just told her what to do. She brings her sword quickly down.
Toledo is still gonna act scared.
What? I'm sorry, what was that?
Toledo is still going to act scared. He felt something hit, and it got real close to push him to the tipping point. He knows he needs to pat her ego a little bit, and it's nice if she thinks she's in control here. So yeah, he's eyes wide. He'll give a couple steps back against the wall. Just
You take one superficial damage.
Put his head down. Sorry.
The incident with the Primogen has not been asked to the three of you because of your alibi of not being there near whatever the hospital was. Now that you brought it up,
I only meant that you said that you were asking Scarlett that their ways were very subtle. I had heard that they're
yes, it does not correlate with their movements. Every city they've visited, they've left no traces, and now they've suddenly changed their goals, their agendas to killing off Primogen.
The prince is not in this room, correct?
No.
Yeah. You know the Sabbat better than anyone, but
A bombing and the killing of a Primogen It sounds more like sect agitation more than anything.
Or they found an easy target.
The easy target is right here. She glances towards Scarlett.
He just looks down again.
Tell me why this one does not deserve punishment for her crimes.
Can you repeat her crimes? The diablerie? We covered
The
that.
Masquerade breach and the right of destruction. Ungiven.
Rite of destruction. Who did she kill?
She turns towards you, Scarlett. Why do you not tell her? Why don't you tell us, Miss Scarlett?
Celia? But I thought the prince gave me the permission. I don't...
Yeah, it was one in, one out. That was a sanctioned. It was literally on display in front of everyone.
All of your stories line up. You see the one in the corner at the back of the room, sort of still looking very amazed at the tendrils that are shooting out from Scarlett's figure. You can't see it yourself, Toledo, but you can see him just admiring it. And you would know, without a roll, that Diablers do gain a thin lines that sort of protrude from the one's personal aura. But the more you diablerize, the more that these lines become tendrils, more potent. These veins are more prominent. Given your knowledge, Scarlett's consumed one's blood as much potent than her. Perhaps one that has also committed this act. That potency transferred to a young one like her may not add up quite easily. What's a fitting punishment for her then?
How about you get the prince? Kevin Jackson, me and him are kind of pals. If you bring him in here, I'm sure he can excite. Have you talked to him at all? Because it seems like you're very confused about what's going on. So now it seems like you're telling us we should not have obeyed the prince, and we're being punished for obeying the prince. I mean, if that's the case, hack away. But I mean, we literally did what the prince.
I asked you a
he
question.
Set up the whole thing.
I will
Yeah,
give
and
you
I'm
one chance to
answering you.
answer. What is a fitting punishment for her?
She has been unruly. What humbled me is one has to truly embody being a respectful, law-abiding kindred. One has to wear the uniform. And I think the longer Scarlett wears these holy garbs, the more she'll be able to walk in the correct path of our kindred brethren. So yeah, make her wear the cowboy hat and uniform. That's I think that'll teach her. For the crime of listening to the prince.
This time.
Oh, we rousing.
Okay, how much dice does she get from this?
6.
Would you like to willpower reroll?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're at 6, she's at 8.
It's a crit now.
Ooh.
So that's
Okay, let's see her willpower reroll as well.
it's a 10.
Oh no, she's at 0. Okay.
You come from the cowboy, better not miss, I say.
8,
I don't say that.
7, 6. Okay, yeah. She unleashes this domineering amount of presence instilled into one single stare at you. Her amber eyes glow very, very brightly now. Her blade still trained at Scarlett. But she realizes something. It does not affect you as much as it should have.
Yeah, he'll look at her. His lip will tremble a little bit. And then go into a yawn. Sorry, long night.
Kneel.
He kneels.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay.
You asked for a punishment, I gave you a punishment. I'm not sure what else you'd want. Trying to help you. You're much better at this than I.
I thought it would only be fair to respect the kindred of the city, but you have shown me none. Therefore, right hand, neonate. Neonate.
Oh, yeah. That's you, Scarlett.
Ah, crap. I glance at Toledo with the questioning.
Just nod.
We're gonna be so useless against the jesters, but if that is the punishment that's befitting my crime...
Before you even end your sentence, she cuts off your hands. And it flies across the room, blood splattering about, hitting a little bit of Toledo in this moment. As the blood squirts out and oozes, you see that her cold, trained eyes are still locked upon Toledo. The both of you would do well if you had just answered my questions straight to
You
the point
asked for a
without...
punishment, and I gave you a punishment. Oh. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I don't know what to say. Just tell me what you want me to say, please.
She turns around and she says, "Silence would do you justice, Banu Hakim. Leave."
I'll stand, holding his arm in his other hand, and let's go, Scarlett.
I'm gonna go follow Toledo.
As you guys step outside of the back room, you would see the shocked faces of every kindred here, especially mostly the clan of the Roses, as they kind of just gasp and like cover their mouths as they watch you walk out of the back room. Another name is called, and they enter the back room. The door shuts. The two of you rejoin the rest of Elysium. None dare ask what happened in there, as they kind of just scatter and move away from you as you make your way past the crowd you see Fletcher pacing back and forth near the entrance to the library. He seems very frustrated. But you do see Kevin Jackson perhaps upstairs still, watching over the whole thing. You're free to speak to any kindred here. There's about 50 of them.
I don't like this. I'm just gonna hang around Toledo.
You did good in there, all things considered. They if it wasn't obvious, they made up their mind before they walked in the room what was gonna happen. They're not. Once you get to a certain position, they're not interested in solving problems.
We're just the
I mean,
scapegoat. I know how this goes, Toledo.
Yeah,
needed
we're
somebody
whipping
to
boys for
blame.
their ego. What's the thing? Is they don't have shit. They're not blaming us for any of this. They're
trying to-
blaming you for your killing Celia, which the whole city watched happen. This is kind of good for us.
What?
We seem incompetent. We seem new. We seem like just this bumbling coder is not sure what's going on and is getting punished for bullshit. That's a position that's not bad to be in. I love being underestimated.
That's how you catch them off guard.
Yeah, we're doing all right. I mean, it hurts like hell. I'll give them that. But
We're still not.
is what it is.
We're still not over. The injuries from the last fight in the labyrinth.
Oh, I am. I never get hurt. Technically, she even hurt me. I cut my own damn arm off. Yeah,
I
the only
can't-
person that could defeat me is me, Scarlett.
I can't really disrespect her. She's
Kevin
No.
Jackson.
You should not disrespect her. It's
this,
Prince, you
was
overhear this
scary.
conversation upstairs, as they're not very subtle about this.
yeah, we
she's scary.
yeah, that's her whole thing. I mean, she ain't that scary. She tried a couple times, and I was like, ooh, but I've seen all that shit before.
I think Jackson would start walking around the place, basically doing laps around people, making sure to tell them to be sure to cooperate, just to remind them of their places, like what Lady Lucinde is doing here. He is in agreement with, and they better act right.
Okay.
And then when he comes across them, we'll get to that. Oh,
Okay.
let them talk.
Well, okay. As you step down with, you're speaking with other people and whatnot, you would notice Fletcher Ryan sort of pacing back and forth. If you'd like to approach him, you're able to. But if not, then Annabelle would approach you.
Oh yeah, I would absolutely approach Fletcher.
Okay.
Mr. Wright,
Prince Jackson.
it would seem that your coterie has been punished.
So it would seem.
You seem to be hale and whole, though.
Yeah. Well, Lucinde hasn't been here for the past 200 years to see what I've done to uphold the Camarilla. So I reminded her of that.
I don't believe that your loyalty is in question, Mr. Wright.
Hard to
There have
tell.
been mistakes, of course, but loyalty, no.
That is
That much can
very,
be trusted.
that is very comforting, especially coming from you, Prince Jackson.
Loyalty doesn't protect you from stupidity, though, Mr. Wright.
Yes. I learned that firsthand just a few weeks ago.
You believe so? I will not ask you to knock on your coterie. But I will say you should protect yourself. If they have been punished by Lucinde, there's something that they are not telling her that will eventually come out.
If I know anything that threatens the strength of the Camarilla, my prince, you would be the first to know, as is my duty as a hound and as a kindred of the Camarilla.
You should be careful around Justicar. She's a little bit tighter on the reins than I am.
I've heard the stories. Quite, the boogeyman, I hear.
So, I want to do a thing. While he's talking to Fletcher, I want to submerge your active, Fletcher, and
Mesmerize?
I want to, when the next time one of their coterie breaks the masquerade, I want him to report it to me immediately.
Ooh, all right, let's see that mesmerize roll, please. Manipulation and discipline versus this intelligence and resolve.
And my fortitude.
Oh, you have unswayable mind?
Unswayable mind.
Absolutely.
You can rouse the blood for this, Kevin Jackson. I believe with your blood potency, it gives you a bunch of dice to roll with.
Yeah.
I think you have a +3 on your blood potency. Plus
That's
+3
correct.
if you surge your blood. I don't think it's there in the sheet, but oh god,
That's necessary, Prince.
No, just toss a couple dice out. Let's wrap this
I could
campaign
take
up.
half. I'll just take half. That is a lot of dice.
I'm gonna
just to
go.
take half. So that's
A
like
solid one.
yeah. So yeah, we'll just take half here.
9, 10. He has like 10 dice to this. Okay. What do you say to him, Kevin Jackson?
Oh, it's just basically, you will tell me if your coterie, yourself included, breaks the masquerade, won't you? And he just pats him on the back as he says this
His eyes glaze over.
immediately.
Of course, my prince. Shall I call Damien immediately or yourself?
Directly to me, please.
As you command.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You can carry on.
Thank you for your time, my prince.
Jackson walks.
Yeah. With one intelligence, one success, Fletcher on that. This Dominic immediately takes effect, and it is instilled within you, within your mind, even with your fortitude. It's gone through. And you carry on with your business like nothing happened. Just like a normal conversation with the prince. Annabelle. Oh, go ahead, Fletcher, if you're going to say something.
Do you have that 4th level dominate one that makes it seem like it's my own idea?
Rationalize.
Rationalize.
Yeah, I would suspect so. Yeah, because he has 4th level dominate. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's his
Carry
own
on.
thoughts.
I'll make a note.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got 5 in dominate, so yeah.
Kevin Jackson continues on, perhaps telling Kindred to, be respectful and cooperative with Lady Lucinde as she interviews people one by one. But as you get to Annabelle, you would see that she is kind of like in a very anxious state, very nervous. You don't know if it's a ploy by her or maybe the way she is, just being a drama queen. Or maybe she's actually nervous, who knows. But you get to her and she says, Kevin Jackson, my prince, my hero. What have we ever done to deserve such fate?
Annabelle,
The Succubus Club is non-operational. How are we going to deal with this?
you mean how are you going to deal with it?
It's your city, it's downtown, it's also your domain. Are we just gonna let the anarchs do their thing?
Bring a dozen of roses, flowers bloom and all that.
She seems genuinely hurt by those words.
There are bigger problems in the city right now, Annabelle.
What do you mean? My Succubus Club is non-functioning. I don't have any customers. I don't have any
just
people.
calling in Elysium right now.
Yeah, but they're not here for us, right?
Are they now? We are missing a primogen. What does that make you think? That none of us are in danger? That everything will just go on all hunky-dory like it's been?
Yeah, but that was Jason Newberry. I mean, it's son.
Yes, and everyone loves you too, Annabelle. Everybody. You have no
course they
enemies at all whatsoever.
Have you seen me? She says as she sways away a bit of her blonde, silvery hair to the side. She fixes up her very tight fitting dress. Everyone loves the roses, my prince.
They love what you can do for them, and what you do to them sometimes.
She smiles. I'm sure you know.
Annabelle, we will get the Succubus Club operational once we have the time. Right now, we have to deal with the Justicar in our city. We are working on it, okay?
Of course. I trust you, my prince. And as she says those words roll off her tongue, you feel a little something inside of you, Prince Jackson. But you carry on as you make your way towards Toledo and Scarlett. Now, after a few more kindred who are probably panicking at the moment, but eventually you get to them. They're still bickering about something, but you enter the scene.
I hate this. Look at my. How we just finished getting out of that stupid place, and I'm still injured, and now I got no hand. How are we gonna?
Look, you're technically closer to your clan roots. If you were to get a hook for that hand, that'd probably
What do you
feel
mean
right
by
to
clan roots?
you. You know, you're all a bunch of pirates.
Really? Los hombres are
Oh, Prince.
Hello.
I was
Good.
just
good evening.
forming
our
our young
prince.
neonate here of her prestigious lineage.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You immediately notice that Toledo's left arm is cut off and Scarlett's left
Oh, yeah, he's
right hand
holding
is cut
it.
off.
He's just kind of randomly gesturing with it, like it's.
Scarlett's like trying to wrap up the bottom of her shirt on her hand.
Yeah, he'll kind of salute the prince with the. It just kind of slaps against the face.
It would seem that y'all have been meted out with a bit of Lady Lucinde's justice.
I'm not sure if justice is the right word. There was a misunderstanding, Prince, that maybe you could clear up for us, my liege. She seems to be under the impression that business with Scarlett and the other Lasombra, you know your rule, one in, one out. was unsanctioned.
There would be no such confusion.
You'll clear that up for us? Because I remember even, I mean, you made it quite public that you owe us a boon even.
I am telling you clearly right now, there is no such confusion. If you were punished, it was not for that.
That's not what she said. Interesting.
Maybe you just weren't listening enough. Lady Lucinde doesn't always talk as straightforward as I will. Not all Venture are quite the same, though.
That's why you're my favorite Venture, like hands down. I'll sort of flop the hand.
But please,
reattach that thing or get rid of it, please.
It would probably piss her off. She's a.
Toledo. I apologize for Toledo, my prince. Just put on your hand. Toledo. Just.
Scarlett, I'm just gonna kind of put one finger on the other hand up to her lips. Just stop interrupting. Anyway, all things considered, how are you this evening? Any luck on the investigations?
Nothing that I can discuss just yet, but have y'all come across anything that is neat to know?
I'm
Lady
sure.
Lucinde let anything slip.
She confirmed some interesting rumors about the poor late Primogen. Red cloaks and whatnot.
Yeah, well, she did say that she's been following the Jesters for a while when I told her that I've seen the Jesters in Russia, which means that she's not just here for this. I don't know.
Whatever it is, I hope she gets to the bottom of it. With her quick wit and stern investigative skills, I think she will.
I think you all should stay away from her bad side.
Well, try to stay away, my prince. For some reason, we always get in everybody's bad side.
And not me. I think she likes me, but yes, Scarlett, you should avoid her while she's here in the
You
city.
lost
He looks at your arm and he goes, "Yes, I'm sure she does. Y'all are still alive."
Exactly.
Now what? Do we just wait until she concludes her investigation?
Yes. Tonight, this is her Elysium.
Okay.
Do understand that the Justicars and the Princes are like two hands on the same body.
Yeah, I get that one. Told you I liked my joke, Scarlett. Yeah, we'll,
Let's just make a joke.
of course, we're willing to cooperate in any way you need, as always.
As
I
always.
suspect you will. And just one more thing before we walk away. You should learn to use your inside voices, 'cause some people might hear things they are not meant to hear. Have a good
I
evening.
have no secrets.
You have a good night too, my prince.
I'll wave at him with the arm as he goes.
So embarrassing in front of the prince. Toledo.
Scarlett, he liked it. He literally made a hand-related pun back to me. You don't know how to talk to people because you ain't funny. And it's embarrassing.
The prince. I must be hearing things from lack
You're the
of blood.
looks. I'm the humor, I'm the charm. Fletcher's
need-
a tough guy.
I need
Saying
to
your
make
name.
sense. I'm gonna go find Fletcher.
Fletcher has had plenty of opportunity to approach us. He's purposely has not. So we should do so with caution, I would say.
Or he might
Did they
still.
see the prince talking to Fletcher, or they were too busy?
They were too busy bickering amongst themselves and holding up their dismembered limbs.
Perfect.
Okay. If you guys want to find Fletcher, he is just walking around. A little calmer now, but there's still that vibe about him that you should remain cautious, as mentioned. But you eventually find him across the hall.
Sergeant? You're looking good. I appreciate that about you.
Shit.
Yeah, it's great. It's a
It-
new feeling, losing a hand and not dying of shock. My God.
Yeah, tell me about it.
How did your little parent-teacher conference go?
Lucinde is a character. And she needed some reminding of all the things I've done for this sect. Luckily, she's understanding to loyalists, and that's about it.
So,
Not a bad card to pull. All right. Did she seem like she was heading towards a path of a dismemberment with you before you pulled that card?
I ain't done nothing wrong, Toledo. But she was gonna chop off my arm for
Masquerade
That's
breach.
attempting to do my job.
I think that was one of the things she was talking about. The masquerade. I'm too scared to even think earlier. She was saying something about the masquerade breach. That's
She was saying
why
all
she
sorts of
was
shit.
punished, and then about Celia. So, I don't know.
What's important is we were punished for our crimes. Do we have to stay here?
Until it's concluded, yes.
Okay. You talked to the prince at all?
Yeah, of course, it's my job. I report to the sheriff and the prince. I'm a hound, Toledo.
I mean, we're all whatever. Actually, that's a good point. Fletcher, will you explain to Scarlett that me and the prince sort of had this camaraderie, and every time she tries to sort of step on that, it's embarrassing for us as a coterie?
Are you both okay? Have you lost? How much blood have you lost?
So
You need
it's
to sit down.
enough for Toledo to joke around with the prince with his arm.
Fucking hell.
Scarlett, back in the day, pop humor was all we had.
I think
I
I
mastered
lost.
it.
I think I lost enough blood to mistakenly hear the prince make a joke about.
That was not a mistake. Scarlett, I'm about to fucking take this arm across your face. All right.
Toledo.
That Lucinde, what do you know about her? If I remember right, she's like a big deal. You might know better than I.
I know stories, ghost whispers. You know, just because of the boogeymen of the Camarilla.
Really?
And they pop up, they chop off your head, and they leave and no one asks questions. Because that's their prerogative.
So they're like a scarier version of the sheriff?
They're like sheriffs of everyone, in a way.
Including the anarchs and
Including the prince.
oh.
That's why he didn't have our back. He would have otherwise, but his hands are tied here.
And he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, I caught a look from him when I came out of there, and when he saw me without an arm, I could tell it upset him. That's why we need to look strong for him.
Oh, are we
Sir-
talking about
oh.
two different... I'm talking about Prince Kevin Jackson. Who are you talking about?
Blood loss.
EKJ.
Fletcher.
That's what he lets me call him.
Blood loss. Or maybe Toledo's gone insane. I don't know.
I'm all right. You know, when I'm hungry, I start bleeding all over the damn place. This is whatever.
I am hungry.
Does he actually let you call Do you actually?
Yeah, all the time.
Can I make a check? Because I think Fletcher's actually like, wait, is this real at this
You
point?
need to make a check.
Can I make like an insight check? Because I have no
Fletcher's
insight
like, am I
whatsoever.
being gaslit? What is happening right now?
Are you a hound as well? Like, I need to know.
It's an insight +2. 1 for your coterie, 1 because of your status. Toledo, if you want to make a contested roll, composure and subterfuge. Or I guess manipulation and subterfuge for you.
3 potential bestial.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you know, for 3 to 1, you know he's
I have 2
talking
dice
shit.
on that. No, he's full of shit.
You had me going there for a second, Toledo. Just
Oh, really? No one ever lets me get that far. Interesting. I think you're a bit distracted.
yeah.
All right.
Just
Now
want
you wait,
this
I guess?
to be over so I can
Yeah.
change. God,
You're
how many times?
You can't change. She
What is
literally agreed to the punishment of you having to wear that. from now
No,
on.
I serve my punishment with my hand. Also, what's your perfume? What the fuck is this? Is this Britney Spears?
what?
Scarlett. It's
Who?
no, it's actually what? It makes sense if you think about it. If you want to smell attractive women, you smell like a woman, right? Girls like to smell a perfume, so if you wear perfume, they're gonna like to smell you. Scarlett, I can't teach you everything in the world.
I don't even have a girl.
I'm gonna get 2 chairs and slide them up next to them and be like, you two need to sit down and just heal whatever you need to heal.
I can't heal this.
Dr. Summers, her assistant's the one who actually got me onto that stuff.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, should we talk about that?
About what?
That she's a fae?
Well, who was a fake?
You know
what
that?
now? What? Fairies exist too? Fairies exist too.
I mean,
Scarlett, nothing
Supposedly.
exists. Alright? Don't believe in it. It's bullshit.
So does angel and demon exist too? If fairies exist?
No.
angels and demons exist. Fairies,
do not.
I don't really think so.
I don't.
There's some things I think.
Can I do?
Ghosts exist. Angels, demons, werewolves, us. Loch Ness Monster exists. Sasquatch exists. Chupacabra, that ain't real. Witches
you-
exist.
Okay.
Aliens are real.
Scarlett,
But aliens
Scarlet.
aren't what you think. What?
who are you gonna believe?
Who you gonna call?
Oh my god.
I have lost a
Is
lot
that-
of blood. Toledo's gonna sit now.
You too, Scarlett. You're not looking to crash hard.
I'm gonna sit down.
Are you alright?
She's scary.
Yeah. It's her job.
You did good in there, though.
No, you're not dead. You must have done well.
Shoot.
Well, I did well. I'm gonna say this quietly, but Ventru makes shit Justicards. They make shit. I mean, they're fine rulers, but when it comes to like all this other stuff, they're shit at it. So they got that pride, you know? And you know how fucking easy it was for me to get under her skin a little bit and just direct everything towards me? I went the normal route. I tried to evoke the fourth tradition. I tried to take credit. I tried to take Scarlett's punishment, using their ways, being respectful. She wasn't having it. So then all you got to do is poke the bear a little bit, and then she comes down on me. Scarlett lost a hand. We're good to go.
Oh, we're not.
Venture don't have the head for this kind of shit. They're too, I don't know.
They
make great rulers, though. But yeah.
You guys are
Venture
changing
ain't
the
shit.
subject. What? The fairies. The what?
You don't want to.
Don't worry about that. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't want to fight with a fairy too. Or
I don't think we want to fight at all
should I make
in your
a...
current condition.
I feel like I should make a checklist. I'm already a vampire, and then I met a ghost, and then I met a werewolf, and apparently we've been around the fairy, whatever she is. What?
I'd use the word fae. Fairy sound. I don't know. Some people might take that the wrong way.
Fae.
Fletcher, resolve an awareness, please.
I lost so much blood.
Not my
You
night.
don't notice anything strange about the kindred around you or nearby you.
Good. Everyone's behaving. Just none of this. We've got enough to deal with right now.
Let's lay low for a few nights.
Yeah, I'm all about that. We deserve a little bit of a vacation. I think I'm gonna take one.
Oh, speaking of vacation, can I see if Shara is around?
She's around.
I'm gonna go say hello to Shara, Toledo, and Fletcher.
Jackson also wants to talk to Sierra.
We'll get to you real quick. As Scarlett steps
You wanna
away.
go solo?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Put that down.
It's my arm.
Scarlett, you go away. Your dads are going to have an interesting discussion about jokes in Elysium.
Okay. Jeez. Old people and stuff.
Prince Jackson, rewinding time just a tiny bit in Elysium. You find Miss Van Buren speaking with one of the current Malkavians here, Bronwyn, as they discuss something or another about business. You approach both of them. They both give you polite nods. And Bronwyn seeing your eyes trained on Miss Van Buren, she simply steps away. Prince Jackson.
Miss Van Gers, I believe we need to have a little chit chat.
Of course, my prince.
And he takes her back to the office.
Upstairs.
On the floor. Yeah.
Perfect.
And he goes, this situation with Primogen and Newberry is a bit messy. Specifically for your people.
I assure you, my prince, that myself nor my clan have nothing to do with this.
That may be the case, but when shadow tendrils get to flying around, fingers start to get to point. Lady Lucinde here, that might get real complicated for you. As you know, the rest of the Camarilla as a whole are still coming to terms having your clan as part of our sect. Now I, me being me, want to trust you and believe in everything you say. You have been duly represented the Sombra, and I've had no reason to believe that you would do anything to double deal or put your own life at stake. However, there are other La Sombra within our clan, or within this, the Chicago Camarilla that may be putting you in danger, and maybe you might have some knowledge of this.
My prince, I assure you, I am doing my best to keep the other keepers in check. I will hold that 6-month deal we had to the core. This is my utmost priority. I will build our clan up in the Camarilla, and I assure you we will be useful.
I suspect that will be the case. Just don't get torn down from the inside. Because Lady Lucinde, she is not quite as forgiving as I can be.
I witnessed she had delivered swift punishment to the coterie of Miss Leanne.
Indeed. How much do you know about Miss Leanne?
Enough to keep her on her toes. With an insight.
All right. Oops. Nope, that was not the right thing. Hold up. Insight. I don't have any insight, so.
You may rouse the blood to add 3 additional dice, I think, for you.
Let's do that. Where do I roll a rouse? Here we go.
Get a little hungrier. But you may add 3 dice to your next roll.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Bam.
4 successes, Kevin Jackson. The way she paused, the way she momentarily, just for a split second, her eyes kind of shook a little bit. You can tell that she knows a lot more than she's letting on, and she's being very big about it.
Jackson says, oh, please, Miss Sierra, sit down. Sit down. May I call you Sierra?
Of course, my prince.
You can call me Jackson for now. And he's like, Damien, could you go get us a drink, please?
He just simply nods. The usual.
You know what I like.
Yes, sir. He says as he walks out, closes his door behind him, giving you a little bit of privacy.
And Jackson's going to activate awe. And he's going to be like, I really do appreciate you being here. And I don't want to burn any bridges or anything like that. So please don't take this as me coming after you in some sort of way. I'm trying to protect you. I believe that our deal is essential to the Camarilla's future. However, I do need to know everything there is to be known about members of the Camarilla around me. And if there's something more you know about Miss Leanne that may be important to the investigation, I may or may not be able to protect her based on this information.
If you'd like to make a roll here.
Oh, absolutely. This is a persuasion. This is turning on the charm.
Charisma and persuasion. You can add your presence dice to this.
All right. So that is... Sorry. Page froze on that. Here we go.
Oh man, she about to spill the tea.
All this. Persuasion.
Leave me alone,
charisma.
Prince.
Would you like the willpower reroll that?
Sure, I think a willpower reroll on 8 dice would be good. Oh my god.
Oh my god. That is 7 successes.
7 on 8 dice. I'll take that. I'll take it.
You see her gripping the edge of her seat as her mouth trembles a little bit, gritting her teeth. She looks
Jackson
at you.
smiles and touches her hand. It's all right. There's no secrets between us.
As you touch her, this wave of awe just washes over her right now as her trembling begins to stop. Her jaw kind of relaxes and her eyes trained on you, and you can tell this sort of admiration for you begin to flourish. Of course, I trust you. Miss Scarlett Leanne, or Miss Mikolov, rather.
Nikolov.
Yes. A very prominent family in Russia. Has many ties to a particular organization. You may have heard of them, or you may have not. But she is the sole heir of the Bratva, the Russian mafia.
Ain't that some interesting stuff there?
A letter was sent to her, or was brought by her. It was to reach you if she was put in any form of trouble. Have you received a black letter at any point in the 2 years she stayed here?
Has he? I have not.
I see she's even more naive than I originally thought.
How so?
The letter was supposed to explain the reason why she's here, but it never reached you. Meaning that she either lost it, which I hope she did not, or it was taken from her.
Do you know what happened? What the contents of this letter happened to be?
It was a precursor for La Sombra to join, formally, the Camarilla.
You mean that she was supposed to be here with this letter before you?
She nods her head. A trial run, to say the least. Although one of the kindred here already existed to be, one of the kindred here, La Sombra, already existed within the city. But I found out much later that she did not have a very reputable standing.
Who was that?
Celia.
So, Scarlett killed Celia. Does Celia know any of Scarlett's secrets then? What you're telling me?
I suspect they've gotten closer. Over the years they've spent together in school with Miss Stewart.
Why didn't you tell me this in the first place?
I thought that you'd already read the letter, and that's why you were so understanding of why we were joining. It was supposed to be kept under secrecy, of course.
I just thought you were incredibly charming, Miss Sierra.
She
An excellent representative, but you keep this conversation we have about Miss Scarlett between us, if you understand what I'm saying.
I can promise you that, Prince Jackson, but I cannot say the same for her.
We do need to find out what happened to this letter, though. It seems to be quite important. Who drafted this letter?
We had tasked Scarlett Sire to do so, and I believe you've already met her.
The doozies just keep dropping, aren't they? Well, ain't this something? So that whole coterie cannot be trusted. You keep an eye on Miss Scarlett. Damien.
Oh, he would not have returned yet, but...
Oh yeah, I'm waiting. We need.
Oh,
Damien
he's
back.
outside. He's just outside.
Oh yeah, I'm Damien. Please come here.
Okay. He opens the door. As he has, what do you call it? A sort of black platter. On top of it are 2 glasses of wine, quote unquote.
One to Sierra, one to Jackson, and Jackson drains his, and he goes, Damien, I need you to do me a favor. This one might be a little difficult, but I believe that it is well within your means. I need you to apologize to Miss Scarlett and become close with her again. I want you to learn everything about her, inside and out. Do you understand me? And if you find this black letter, which I'll inform you about, please bring that to me, along with Miss Scarlett's head on a platter, if you find it.
Yes, sir. He says softly.
Thank you. You're incredibly loyal, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, my prince. He leaves the room once again.
Miss Van Buren, I apologize for the
You see her shocked expression.
potential violence here, but these sort of secrets cannot be kept and stored away from me. In order for me to properly run Chicago and its Camarilla, I need to know all there is to know. But you, I will forgive this trespass. No more secrets. And he kisses her on the cheek. You're dismissed.
Thank you, my prince, she says as she stands up, shaken, and walks away out of the room. Meanwhile, while this conversation is happening, Toledo and Fletcher, is there anything going on between the two of you? Any kindred you want to speak with?
Fletcher, I'm gonna ask you something. Don't take this the wrong way. You are allowed to say no, of course. Do you think you could beat me in arm wrestling using this arm? He's gonna prop that arm up.
I am rendered speechless constantly by the two of you. I have been through wars. I have fought Samitsi monstrosities, Sabat, and the one thing that renders me speechless is the two of you.
I have one more question. When you say two of you, are you referring to me and my arm? Because don't start calling it its own thing.
If I beat you, Toledo, I get to confiscate the fucking arm.
Deal. He sets up, taking his loose arm and his good arm.
Fine, I'm gonna do this. I can't believe I'm doing this.
All right, let's do this. Strength and brawl. Toledo, you're at negative.
Oh my god, this is really happening, y'all. Wow.
If I win, you gotta dress like me and Scarlett for a day. Next mission, you're cowboying up. Do you accept my terms?
Fine. Deal.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Okay. So strength and brawl, Fletcher and Toledo. Toledo, you're rolling at a -3 because you're dismembered. And you're using the arm itself as the thing.
With the way I'm rolling tonight, this is gonna go so poorly.
The most
We're going
important role
all
in my
out.
life. I'm not, because we could both just rouse and we'll cancel
I'm
each
too
other out.
hungry. I don't want to risk hunger
Or
frenzy.
that could be
Elysium.
more interesting. This is exactly what I want to have. No,
Okay. I mean,
let's go. Let's go. Oh, he's not great at this. Straight dice.
ooh, is that a crit? Oh, it's only 3. Okay.
No, it's not a crit.
Imagine if that was a crit.
Oh, that's a crit.
That's a messy critical.
Okay, Fletcher, that's a messy crit, right? 6, 8. With the amount of things happening, the shit that you guys have that's been piling up in the past nights, the labyrinth, the Summer Sisters, the bombing, Masquerade breaches, now Lady Lucinde. You feel your beast come out as you grab on to Toledo's dismembered arm. You feel its primal dominance and feel the need to just be in control of something right now, and it does. It comes out with your 8 successes against his 3. You take his arm, you grab onto it extremely tightly, and you begin crushing it even before the fight or the bout starts. And just as Toledo can't feel it because it's not from his body anymore. It's not part of his body. But you do notice that Fletcher's eyes are kind of wild right now, just staring intently at yours. If you'd like to crush the thing, the arm itself, Fletcher, you can. But I leave it completely up to you.
I think if it's gonna be a like dominance or whatever, or even harm compulsion, I think he wants to like just smash the hand so hard through the table or whatever that it crashes through it and hits the ground and just splatters the hand onto the ground.
Okay. And this
Toledo's
happens.
still got like the upper arm chunk, and the rest of it just literally snapped and went out.
Yeah, it's broken in half now. Fletcher, as you smash it through the table, you see the wood and chunks kind of just splinter across into this bloody mess, and you just smash it on the ground as it explodes in this viscera of blood and gore.
Satisfied.
Okay, Sarge. Okay. This is yours. He's gonna kind of push that chunk over to you. Not bad. Not bad. I like that. That was kind of fun.
Scarlett, as you're walking, trying to find Miss Van Buris, you hear a loud, like, wooden table broken, and just like this fleshy, wet sound kind of just explode and kind of echo throughout, not throughout, but like on the other corner of Elysium. And you, as you turn back, you would notice that these two are armed wrestling. Well, not anymore, because that requires both arms, but people are starting to look along with you.
How am I going to learn about manners if I'm surrounded by those two idiots? I'm just muttering.
Okay. The scene continues with Toledo and Fletcher if you guys still make conversation after this. Okay. If that's the case, then Scarlett, you're trying to find Sierra, but she's nowhere in sight. A few moments pass as you maybe try to look for answers from other kindred. You see her step out of an office upstairs. She looks a bit shaken, but she descends the stairs off to the side and enters Elysium once again.
I'm going to approach her and, well, very respectfully say, "Good evening, Miss Shara."
She looks at you with this cold intent. Good evening to you too, Miss Mikolov.
Have you done your turn with the Justicar yet?
No, but I will soon.
Well, their line of questioning is more of the La Sombra, so why is our clan always being questioned and suspected?
Because we used to be Sabat,
But we're not
very
anymore.
prominent clan in there. Not anymore of the recent night. It's only been 3 weeks. We need to speak after this. I've done you many favors, Miss Scarlett, but the one thing I asked your sire to task you was not done. I was under the assumption it was.
And what task was it, if I may ask?
She comes closer and whispers in your ear. The letter.
I'm gonna go and whisper into her ear. I was told it was only for when my life is in danger.
Yes,
I
it was. Were you not in constant danger?
Not life-threatening enough to go straight to the prince for it.
No matter. Where is it?
Somebody stole it during Elysium.
Of course. Of course, she says. Very well. I will handle this. I will handle this. Some way. Why were you punished?
Breaking the traditions. According to her, it was breaking the Masquerade as a coterie and the destruction of another.
She looks at you. Is it true? Are these punishments unwarranted?
Considering it feels like we are on the verge of war, I don't see how crippling some of the competent kindred we have here is the best way to go around it. But if that is the punishment that they see befits us, then I will take
No,
it.
dear, answer my question. Are these unwarranted? Did you actually commit any of these acts? Did you break the masquerade?
We're being punished as a coterie, Shara.
You're still not answering my question, Scarlett. We are on a very thin ice right now. We've only been part of the Camarilla for 3 weeks, and if you're out destroying other kindred or breaking the
No.
masquerade,
My those two, Fletcher lost his temper near the airport and started throwing cars around. I can't do anything to it's a coterie. And what they told me is that if one in our coterie is in trouble, then the rest of us get punished. That's how it works. So
yes, that's how the Camarilla works. She pinches the ridge of her nose. At least I know it wasn't you that was the sole reason for this. Be very careful, Miss Scarlett. Our relationship with the Camarilla, as a new member of their organization, we must nurture it. Behave, please. Otherwise, both of our heads will be served on their platter. Perhaps by that Justica herself.
Of course, Miss Shara. I won't bring shame upon the Sombra.
She takes an unnecessary sigh before she says, was there anything else?
No.
Okay, good. Come see me when you have the time. Alone, please.
Of course, Miss Shara.
You know where to find me.
I'll leave you to the rest of your night then. And then I leave her.
Okay, and where do you head off to? Do you have anyone else to speak to?
Gonna look for Brian and Frankie.
Okay. You see Brian approaching Fletcher and Toledo, along with Frankie.
Oh no. I'm going to start like walking fast, like not really
Speed walking?
running. Yeah, I'm gonna speed walk, trying not to seem like I'm panicking.
Sure. As you make your way there, you would notice, all three of you would notice, Frankie trying to console Brian. Brian has this a look of fear in his eyes, but he's staring daggers at you, Toledo. Scarlett, you might want to help me with this?
Yeah,
Frankie said to you.
I'm going to go grab Brian as well. Like, not grab him, but like just put a hand lightly on his other arm. Like, what's going on?
You see him kind of shake you off a little bit as he kind of shakes both of you and Frankie off. but he just stares at Toledo.
I'm going to look at Toledo. What did you do?
Are they all right here at the
Yeah,
table?
they're a few paces away from you and the broken table.
What do you mean?
Also,
What did
a
I
few
do?
other Kindred
Do you
are also here.
forget that we literally sent him to walk home yesterday from outside the
Oh
city?
my god.
Are you gonna sit there and mug me all night, Brian? You got a problem? You got something to get off your chest, little guy?
Frankie kind of turns to you and she says, she looks at Brian. She looks a little worried right now. She looks between Brian, Frankie, and Fletcher, but she immediately just hurries off behind Fletcher.
Ryan, please. Come on, let's talk. Let's calm down.
He says as you look at him, and he opens his mouth and there is no tongue.
Oh, goodness.
Well,
Looks like it was cut off.
Nosferatu did that. Is that right, Brian? Why are you here if you're not going to talk to it or respond? You go away then. If I'm going to ask you a question, you're going to stare at me. A yes or no? I said the Nosferatu did that, didn't they, Brian? This means yes. This means no.
He just looks at you with just
Okay,
complete-
go away then. Why are you here staring at me if you're literally not going to engage in a conversation? Fucking weirdo.
He just says, you can tell he's saying, "You're welcome." And he just walks away.
Brian, God damn it, Toledo. I'm going to follow Brian.
I don't see the. What's the problem?
Brian was helping us by stalking us all night. And then when I confront him about it, instead of telling us why he was stalking us, he was obtuse, being sketchy, like someone who's caught stalking someone would be. So I put him on ice for a little bit. When I woke him up, then suddenly he had the reason for stalking us. So I sent him home. Because he's helping us. Because when you're helping someone, that's what you do. You follow them around, you sneak around, you stalk them all night instead of come up to them and share information. If that's
Man.
Brian's version of help, he's a fucking idiot and I don't need it. He's a liability at that point. His
Man.
intentions, I think, were good, but his methods are going to get us all killed. Not about it.
And he's lost his tongue for this?
Yes, his clan was just going to glance around with Sense the Unseen just to make sure, even though they shouldn't be
Roll your
obfuscating in
sense
here.
dance.
But apparently the rules. Fucking Archons. Let's rouse. Five.
With 5 successes, you don't notice any kindred that are obfuscated right now. More importantly, the Nosferatu, you can only see two. It's Brian and the Primogen, who is upstairs speaking with Horatio Ballard.
They had it's a Nos thing. The Nos are mad at us, and the Nos were also stalking us, and Brian was stalking us before they stalked. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why the Nos are even mad at us. Someone owes them something. In our coterie. It's not me, even though I was the one being followed. So, go figure.
Right. I mean, Nos following people isn't entirely new, but they got no beef with me. I done nothing to them.
According to Brian, they do. And he tried to warn us by not saying anything and following us all night. It was his warning. And once he got caught, I guess he went back to the Nos and they probably cut his tongue out.
So nothing of value has been lost.
The kid, I feel bad for the kid. His heart's in the right place. But if he wants protection, if his clan really is doing some shit against us, and especially against the Camarilla, he needs to actually do something about it besides follow me around all night. There's only one reason to stalk someone, and that's if they're your prey.
Yeah,
And Toledo ain't nobody's prey. He does the praying, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I've seen it firsthand.
So yeah,
Strange.
he's mad at me. It's my fault that his clan cut out his tongue because he did a bad job warning me.
He'll regrow it in a night or two. Unlike,
Yeah, no, Brian's literally one of
you.
the dumbest kindred I've ever met.
yeah,
Bless
same
his
here.
heart.
Yeah.
But like I said,
surprised.
his heart's in the right place, so he's going through something right now, and of course, he's mad at me for it. But tough love is it's the only kind of love I know how to give.
Yeah, it's an
Ain't that
important
right,
lesson.
Scarlett? Is that Frankie? Have you spoke to Brian about this? Is what I'm saying tracking so far? Do you have more to tell us?
She just nods her head.
Would you please share with us?
He hasn't really said anything cohesive, but
God, nobody in this fucking city says anything cohesive for once in their fucking lives.
I thought that was what Kindred were all about. Being secretive and mysterious, keeping this masquerade.
Yeah, see how it doesn't help when we do that with each other? It causes a lot of confusion and infighting and huge problems because we're not united against our real enemy. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah,
Okay.
you tell your secrets to them, you're telling secrets to each other. Who's that helping? Just yourself. Do you have anything to say, Frankie?
But all of you have your own secrets.
No, Frankie,
No, I don't.
our coterie has been very, very open with each other. After obviously a bit of difficulty, but Toledo tells me everything. I tell him everything.
And she turns to Scarlett. Oh, you're going to Brian, right? Yeah. She turns to Scarlett. Her too?
Frankie,
Scarlett,
what is your point? God damn, you literally walked over. I'm not about to be lectured by you. No offense, Frankie, you're cool and all, but like, if you got something to say, let's hear it. That was Brian's problem. If you need to tell someone something, tell him. I'm all ears.
I wanted to talk to Mr. Wright.
Okay,
A secret
Frankie.
from me?
Should we tell
Tisk,
him?
Frankie.
Anything you tell me comes to Toledo one way or another. We're very honest with each other.
I lost him somewhere in the tunnels.
Toledo got me out of there.
Oh. He can't speak to birds like I can.
You don't know that.
Toledo has a vast set of skills.
No. I'm talking about Fletcher.
No, I
You
can't.
can't talk to birds?
They don't have much to say. And neither do I, it seems.
Look, I'm just here because Brian was very upset. He really looked up to you, Father Toledo. And
Frankie,
He
that's
tried
what we
to
call a
protect you.
lie. He did not look up to me. I told him to stop doing thin blood drugs a million times. He always just did what he wanted to do. If he cared about me, if he was worried about me, he could have had a conversation with me at any time. I think he's just saying that. Sorry.
And I told him to keep running, and I don't think he's running anymore.
Yeah, if Frankie cares about me or himself, he has the most roundabout way I've ever seen any kindred go about doing something. And that's impressive. Usually takes a lot of centuries on your mind to get that fucking obtuse, but he's nailing it. Frankie, my advice is to you and him, if there's something you guys want to talk to about, we're gonna help you. Just come talk to us about it.
Mm.
I am the world's greatest assassin. You can't just go around following me. Like, there's gonna be a consequence to that.
What Toledo means is we're never going to stop being your mentors or here to help you. If you need assistance, you can call on us.
Although officially I am not Brian's mentor, I am not taking the fall for anything he does.
No, neither of us are officially Brian's mentor. But you, Frankie, that's a different story.
She smiles widely and she says, "Okay."
There you go. You got a good head on your shoulders. Brian needs your help more than our help right now.
That's
You
true.
need to make him understand the mistakes he's making. And just like you've come and you're talking to Fletcher, you're talking to me, you need to let Brian know that that's the way to do it.
Okay, well, we couldn't really say anything because we can't really say anything because there's people around us.
Then
And
why did you
Scarlett's
come
not
up?
here.
Why did you walk up to us?
Because I wanted to know if you would like to join the conversation between Mr. Wright and I later. She says, a little scared now.
Sure. I think it's good if we all get on the same page, Frankie. City's wild. And I apologize if I was a little snappy. I was in high spirits. I had one of the best gags going on, and that's over now. And now I'm just sitting here without an arm. And
Now
it's
you
starting
don't
to make me a little
feel
sad.
you don't feel well armed for anything else, do you?
A single blood tear on the side. I appreciate you, Sarge. That means more than you can ever know.
That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire undead life, but you're welcome.
See, Frankie, this is what a coterie is.
Mm.
We
Lead
would
by
love to meet
example.
with you and hopefully Brian at a later time when it is safe to speak.
As we pick up the scene with Scarlett and Brian, as he seems to be just walking away and kind of stomping, but he can't really stomp because this is Elysium and he's kind of scared of Lucinde.
Brian! Hey.
He makes like this audible noise, but what do you want?
I just came here to say thank you. I know you mean well, and you know how Toledo is.
You left me in the highway again.
You know how the adults are, can't really say much.
I thought we were friends.
We are.
Okay, I'm gonna stop doing the thing because
I'm gonna hug Brian and then just say like whisper into his ear like we are friends.
no, Scarlett. No, we're not, he says as it kind of pushes you away. I don't feel it anymore.
The thing?
Frankie and I know. We felt it.
How?
I don't know what you have going on,
I don't know either.
but I thought the thing with you and Celia, now that it's over, I thought it would not have changed you, but I guess it did.
I asked. God, I'm gonna pull him away to somewhere kind of semi-private, as much as private as in this freaking Elysium with all the ears listening.
It's not very private unless you go upstairs or
Ah.
the Sin's back room.
No, I'm just going to just pull him to the side and go like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll figure out what's happening.
Yeah, figure your shit out. Because last I checked, you wouldn't stake me or allow that to happen.
You think I can stop Toledo?
Yeah. Frankie and I think so. I told her what happened. I don't know what you got going on, Scarlett, but I don't feel like we can trust you anymore.
Listen, Brian, I'm sorry. I am very sorry, okay?
Do you know why they cut off my tongue? Because I played stupid. Now they revoked my rights to use technology. Any of it. There's only one thing I'm good at, Scarlett. That's sneaking around and getting information.
I know. Brian, I know.
And they've taken that away from me.
I'll find a way to help you. If you'll let me. I know, like, I'm not even sure first.
It's okay. Frankie and I got it. Celia would help us too, but she's not here. He's right, you know. Celia whispers in your ear.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. Then I'm going to walk back to where Toledo and Fletcher is.
As you walk back, we would see Prince, seemingly making his rounds once again, but is there anyone in particular you'd like to speak to, Prince Jackson? As this night kind of trickles on and more people are being interviewed by Lucinde, some of them receiving punishment, some of them not, some of them just crying after talking to her.
Is Sovereign here?
Alan Sovereign is upstairs.
I think he talked to Sovereign. But it doesn't have to be a long conversation. This would be more like a very simple order of like, make sure the coterie with Mr. Fletcher, Scarlett and Toledo are funded with whatever they need to hunt down the jesters, and watch the money. Understand me?
Sovereign kind of nods as he kind of, writes something down in his very, very beautiful, very neat handwriting in his little notebook journal of his, as he says, "Oh yes, I believe the amenities we provided for them, their haven, is well funded as well.
Excellent.
Do we maintain watch over it?"
Absolutely. Make sure they have a nice car with extra space.
May I ask, if you do not mind, Prince Jackson, why have taken such an interest with them in the recent nights? You've chosen them as the coterie to facilitate this merging of the La Sombra. Yet I see that they have caused more Masquerade breaches than anyone else in the recent evenings.
Alan, you've been an excellent companion to me ever since I've taken this position. So I feel like I can be honest with you. They're going to fuck up. But along the way, their fuck ups are going to bring out all the other fuck ups. They are baiting the trap to catch the other little flies that are flying around and messing up our little family here in the Camarilla. And I want to make sure that that bait is very, very sticky.
freely. Spoken like the true prince of Chicago, he says as he continues writing down in his journal. This will be done, Prince Jackson.
Thank you, sir.
The night continues on, with all of you sort of getting together and perhaps speaking amongst each other, bickering a little bit. You guys can't really talk about anything really important in Elysium, as there are prying eyes and listening ears. But at the end of Elysium, all of you are pretty much let out as Waneka and Alexa open the doors. All the kindred grumbling here, sort of just leave on their own regard and sort of just do their own thing. But as they're leaving, what do we, as the audience, see Fletcher, Toledo, and Scarlett do?
Get out. While they still can.
Yeah. Probably, like, I'm probably, like, looking really angry, troubled, trailing behind Fletcher and Toledo.
Yeah, I'll just say let's get somewhere more cozy and talk.
Get in the car.
Let's go.
Really? Do you have to wear... It's evening. It's gonna look dumb. You look dumb.
Scarlett, that's just hurtful. Why would you say that to
Well,
me?
why do you wear the druggies outfit?
Let's
Oh,
go.
Why can't you just feed on some nice gentleman with a business suit?
Scarlett, have you ever heard? Are you familiar with the philosophical phrase, "They hate me because they ain't me"?
It's like your dad trying to be hip. It's so embarrassing. It's like why I'm into Fletcher scar, probably.
And where do we see you guys go? Back to the Haven. Elysium is done. Gentle
What
reminder,
time
you all
is it?
got away with your crimes, with a very light punishment. And the crowd has been talking. They know, or they think, that the Jesters are behind everything, and they're colluding with the Anarchs.
Mission accomplished. Wait, what time is it?
It's around, maybe, Elysium started very early, so maybe around midnight. Maybe 1 o'clock, actually. Middle of the night. You guys have a few hours left until sunrise.
Can we grab a bite to eat before we go?
Let's
Sure.
go somewhere nondescript. And then we'll get something to eat. Maybe a seedy bar on the west side or something out of the hive, preferably. Low key.
Sure. Downtown is very hard to get into as you guys are in Bronzeville, the Bronzeville district right now. But if you guys would just like to make a few hunting rolls to make this simpler, you can.
Charisma persuasion.
3.
I got 6.
I don't generally have a hunting roll, but in this case,
What would you do?
just while these two, I take them to a bar while these two are doing their thing, grab someone on the side alley, very alley cat style, I think.
Sure. Strength and brawl. Would you like the willpower reroll, Toledo? You guys
Do
are
what?
not in your. Yeah, would you like the willpower
This is not
reroll?
our domain.
It's not your domain, so you have a DC for this.
Harder than 3? No.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Oh.
come on. Just roll.
Actually, yeah. I need to be
We need to be
healing
in
wounds.
good
You can always just
behavior.
roll
I'm only
again.
hungry too. I'm barely hungry.
good
Yeah,
behavior.
Not a
so-
big deal.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
That's double crit. Okay, yeah. Toledo, you use your quote unquote charms with your streetwise attire to find a few dealers here and there, and you manage to isolate them from the rest. You find about 2. If you'd like to slake your hunger on both of them, you can, but unless you kill them, you will only slake.
I only need to go
100.
down by 1, so
Yeah.
like sip
You
will
want
do me.
to select that 1 hunger. 6 for Scarlett. You also find 2 people that are a couple that's very willing to engage in intimate contact with you. I imagine you feed on both of them to slake how much hunger?
2 hunger, please.
Fletcher. Oh, that's messy crit.
5
That's
missy crit.
3, 5. How hungry are you?
4.
Frenzy check, please. Okay.
4 successes.
With 4 successes, as you feed upon this particular individual that you snagged off in the alley somewhere, you begin feeding on them, and you feel the beast come out a little bit, but it reminds you that this is not your preferred blood. This blood is bland, and you muster the courage to just slake, maybe, well, depends on how much you want to slake, but your beast says no to this. So do you. How much blood do you take?
Just. All of it.
Wanna just eat this dude?
What's another human?
Sure. What humanity you have?
4.
It doesn't matter to you. You're at 4 and below. 4 and below, it doesn't matter anymore.
Still hurts my willpower because I'm against feeding against humans, but
Mhm. Yeah, take your hunger down to 0 as you drain this dude dry. Now, how do you dispose of the body? Or do you just leave it there?
nearest dumpster, just open it up and lick the wound, make it disappear. Maybe take out my knife, stab them, and then toss them into the thing.
Sure. You are a hound. You don't have a DC to feed. And you can do this quite easily. Whether or not the other hounds or the sheriff finds out about this is really up to them. But
I
you
got
walk
stab
away
wounds,
sated.
it's fine.
Yeah, you walk away sated. Where did the 3 of you head to next? Spent about an
Shadow
hour
everywhere.
hunting.
We could go to the usual haven, or we could go to church if we want to be a little extra secure.
Happy for either.
I prefer. I prefer to. Can we stay at the church?
It'll be good for us. Let's go to church.
The scene picks up as you all arrive there. It's a good thing you didn't go to your downtown haven, because it would have spent a lot of time in traffic as people are being expected and whatnot from all the security and the police officers that are running around, making sure that everyone is safe and not carrying any explosives or weaponry on them. As you guys circumvent the security, you guys end up on the west side in the Trinity Chapel. The scene is in your hands.
You all right about all that, Scarlett? I know it's been a hell of a night, but all in all, like I said, it's all about redirecting, and I think we steered them in a much better direction than it could have went. My harm will grow back. Your hand will grow back. What else has got you down?
Scarlett's not, obviously not listening to Toledo. She's looking at Fletcher to see what he's doing.
Probably just sitting there, leaning over, hands together, and his right leg is sort of jittering up and down. Not doing anything.
I'm gonna drag Toledo and then say, can we exchange clothes now, please? Anything else? Can you show me anything else aside from this priest outfit? Don't you have something normal you give volunteers? Toledo?
No.
Please?
No, I don't.
I'm covered in blood.
No, I mean, I literally, we're in a church. We don't, this ain't
Please,
anthropology or
Toledo.
whatever the hell. Let's see what we got. Come with me.
I'm going.
Okay, you guys end up in Toledo's. So you guys go through the back, down the spiral staircase on to the basement where Toledo sleeps, along with Sister Isidora. You'd find 2 bedrooms there. You've probably taken here before, but where do you go, Toledo? To your room or to Sister Isidora's room?
We'll go to my room.
The moment
Find yourself in a small confined space. This isn't a very large room
yeah, I'm
compared to the
gonna
Haven.
close the door and go like, think Fletcher can hear us here?
No?
Okay. Well,
What's up?
you know that me and Brian and Frankie and Celia had this like little incident at school before.
You gotta be specific.
You know,
It was like every day.
what did you call? I can't remember what you called it, but we shared blood with each other.
Alder, yes.
So we had a bond about that, and according to Brian, the bond has been broken, and you told me that it can't be broken.
I mean, if you go a long enough time without
But they're-
feeding, you should
but
be alright.
They're not.
Have you guys been continuing that, or have you not done it for a while like we asked you?
Have we? No, we did. We obviously meet up once in a while behind Toledo's back to do it. It doesn't make sense. Then why does Frankie and Brian still have the bond, but I'm not anymore?
I mean, if you're comfortable with it, I can do a ritual and find out.
Like, okay, but Fletcher, he's not gonna like it. We did the foldery at school, and all,
I think he already knows that, right? That already came out.
No, he didn't know about the foldery at school.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't do it anymore, you're fine. Fletcher knows that you were a disaster back then.
Okay.
Alright. How about I'll just sort of point to where the hand was. I'm just gonna get a little bit off of there. I'm gonna do some rituals. Taste her blood and see if I could find anything odd. A little
Fletcher's just
up blood walk.
stoically looking at everywhere in the church, looking out of place. God damn it. No. What is going on?
I want to crit this, so I'm gonna rouse.
Rear, please don't eat.
Oh, I can re-roll that. So
Are you doing blood walk or are you doing taste for blood?
both.
Okay.
Okay, that's for surging. That is for ritual. Ooh, I needed a
Ooh.
success. That's 11 successes.
11 successes. Okay.
I will show you what that does if you'd like.
Yeah. I think on a win it gives you the generation roll of the user, and it's sire. I think on a crit it gives you if they're
blood bonds
blood
active.
bonds. Okay. Oh. What does it still look like as you do this ritual?
It would be a little clumsy at first because he does have one arm. So it takes a little bit longer. And you can see there's a little bit of frustration in that as he's very methodical. His rituals are something he takes very seriously. They're spiritual to him, and not being able to go through the motions. He has so much muscle memory for this. It trips him up a little bit, but then he uses that just to push himself even harder and make sure to really get this right as he takes a little bit of her blood from her wrist into a cup.
I've been taking -3 into this roll, I think, but it's fine. Oh no!
For
It's
ritual
intelligence.
roll?
Yeah, it's not never mind.
Yeah, doing that and really taking his time. Once the blood is mixed in that silver cup, taking a little bit extra, really getting his prayer right, really saying with a lot of intention, for swirling it and drinking deeply, getting every last drop.
Okay, you're gonna drink all of it, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is what Scarlett sees. Scarlett, as Toledo gets lost in his ritual sauce, and he feels... Sorry, I couldn't help. As he begins to feel the blood work in this little bowl, of which a little bit of the blood is extracted from you and combined with his, you can tell that something is at work here, something is at play. You don't have aspects, so you can't really see the magic's going on here. But you can definitely feel a sort of pressure shift in the room as the chamber begins to darken a little bit as he begins drinking this blood. He closes his eyes in this moment, drinking it, drop by drop, every last bit of it. In Toledo, it is absolutely delicious. Something about this neonite's blood has definitely shifted. And there is just this one thing that happens as he closes his eyes. Scarlett, Toledo, you are now lost in the darkness. And you don't see or feel any of this. But Scarlett, the room, all the lights are turned off. The darkness descends. And the tendrils begin.
Is this supposed to happen?
Wrapping themselves around Toledo's neck and limbs.
Is it hurting him?
You can tell it's going to constrict and probably do damage to him.
Can I try and... Is it mine? I don't even know! Yeah, Toledo!
As you try to call for his name, he is currently still lost in this sort of vision-like state, this trance, as his eyes are currently closed. Then you hear it in your ears, Scarlett. This laughter. It's not cackling this time, it's melodic. Like it was expecting this to happen, or maybe he was waiting for this to happen. Yes. Blood that contains power must be drank by those who seek it. And it continues to laugh and laugh and laugh as it begins to pull Toledo's body to the bottom, to the ground, and to the ceiling, and to the side. Of course, his other arm is already cut off, so can't really be pulled to that left side, but you see it's almost as if he's trying to be... The whips, the tendrils are trying to dismember him right now. And you are unable to do anything, Scarlett, as you try to control the shadows with your arm, with your own oblivion. Whatever this darkness is, it belongs to another.
Stop it! Stop it!
Leo then opens his eyes, and you see nothing but inky darkness.
Turn on Oblivion sight.
Oh, you're not in this scene, Toledo.
Oh, I thought you said Toledo opens his eyes. My bad.
Oh, no. This is still Scarlett. You see your mentor, our dear Banokim, open his eyes with complete inky darkness. Nothing in there. But he doesn't say anything. He's in his trance-like state. For Toledo, the scene fades away. As you awaken, once again, in a black and white abyss you know as the labyrinth. You find yourself alone. It is cold and empty. And there's this constant feeling of you being watched by an entity. You can't put your finger on it. And as you spend time pondering what the meaning of this place is, you notice a figure at the very end of that tunnel. He is dressed unlike you, in your usual priest outfit. Except this time, as you approach him, he approaches you, but his eyes are inky black.
This rodeo again. Interesting. We gotta do the same thing as before.
No, I don't think so, he says to you.
The hell, you talk back?
He talked back to you.
Okay. Is he slowly getting his sword out now? So what is this? I already played your game. I already passed your test. I already defeated the greatest assassin in the world. Me. What left can there possibly be?
You're looking on the wrong places, boy. Don't pry with your eyes that cannot see the truth.
Switch to sense the unseen.
As you flip on Sense the Unseen, you can tell this creature is still you, but it is made of inky darkness. It's taken your figure. Every piece of cloth, every skin cell he has is made just out of pure shadow. Now let me ask you why you've come here.
I think we both know that you brought me here, or something brought me here.
I didn't bring you here, boy.
You probably know who did.
Let me ask you something real quick. Just because you're me and I'm you, do you still believe in the faith? In our religion?
What a silly question. Of course.
I sense it growing weaker with your connections out there. You're being connected to those that are our enemies, boy. Those who dare stand against Cain himself. How dare you be connected to them?
I'm not much in the mood for a conversation anymore. It's been a long night. forgive me if a monstrous shadow version of myself isn't gonna preach me on morality or
He
decisions
puts his
or what I
right
ought
hand.
or not to do.
He puts his right hand on your arm or your shoulder as he says, "It's time we make a difference. In the place we call hell, we angels need to set these sinners on the righteous path."
You got a lot to say. Don't let me stop you.
"Praise be," he says. And the inky shadows disperse in front of you. And you feel the shadow wrapping around your neck sort of let go in this moment. And you are dropped to the ground as you crash on the floor with Scarlett freaking out around about you. In front of you, I mean.
Scarlett has been crying. It's like blood tears all over the place.
Does the ritual still work? Do I still get the information?
You feel as if she's bonded to some entity. You don't know what entity it is, but she's bonded to something. Something much more powerful.
I can't control the shadows, Toledo.
It's fine. It's fine. Just for my, as a player's memory, Scarlett never said anything about drinking from that person, right? In the labyrinth?
She doesn't even know she drank from someone.
Are you leaving anything out about what happened to you in the labyrinth?
Well, we stopped about that, labyrinth. I went into the labyrinth, followed my mom's silhouette.
Did you drink from anything?
No. There wasn't anything to drink from. There was that werewolf and it was trying to kill me. I don't think I can drink a werewolf blood.
Oh, you can. It's fucking wild. But, that's neither here nor there. Huh. Something happened where you are bonded to something. I think in that place.
Something. You don't. It's not even.
I was pulled there. I was tempted.
Tempted to
Here
what?
I am. Fire and brimstone and all that.
Toledo.
You don't have a bond with Frankie and Brian anymore because you were bonded to something
I
worse.
thought you said it's not. It doesn't work that way. I thought you said that it only works like the bond only breaks if the person who bonded you dies.
Maybe you
or-
did in a way.
Once
All I
you-
know is I'm sure whatever bond you and your friends had was rather weak because of your blood. Something more abyssal seems to have claimed you.
So you're telling me that I got bonded without my knowledge?
Happens all the time, unfortunately.
Now what about you? What about Fletcher? How can we even trust each other if we don't know if we're bonded or not?
Scarlett, you remember drinking something in the labyrinth.
Wait.
You remember someone speaking to you. They're the one who woke you up.
No, there was a lady. Trying to remember. What can I remember? Somebody told me.
Shadowy, maybe goes by the name Dark Mistress.
No, I know the Dark Mistress's cackle, laughter. She's been haunting. us for a while. She called me the child of Lucinde?
It's accurate. You are Lucinde. Is there anything else you can remember?
What can I remember? Oh my god. What can I remember? Storyteller.
Intelligence and resolve. Also, that cat is hella cute.
I don't have those! God fucking that. I got one.
Nice dump stat. One success. You know that you drank something from. You don't know who it was from, but you know that you drank something and you're awakened by something. Something much.
I ate the
older.
flower, that's all I know.
Yeah, you ate a flower.
I ate the
and
flower.
you realized it was blood.
It spurted blood.
And as this scene sort of plays out, we'll pause it there before you guys can continue on with this conversation. As we rewind time just a little bit for Fletcher, what are you doing as Toledo and Scarlett had made themselves scarce from the scene? You know that they went to the corner of the church and descended upon the steps. You can follow them if you'd like.
I'm used to those two going off on their own. I'm probably going to play on some of these strange free apps that I bought on my phone, see what I can find. This Candy Crush thing, see what that's about.
Okay, if you don't want to follow them, it's fine too. But as you play on your phone, you would get a text message.
Who's it from?
Alice.
What does it say?
Where are you?
I'm going to call Alice's phone.
The answer is not. You're not answered by Alice,
Boss?
but the doctor.
I think I need to refresh. For some reason, everything just started. Everyone's screen started blinking, and oh my god, we're being haunted. I'm gonna refresh my thing. There's an echo, and it's messing me up. God damn. Hello?
Sounds about accurate.
Okay. All good. Continue, please.
Hang on, Lou, just talk for a second. I think you might still be a bit...
Oh, you're kind of echoey too.
Both. I think we both need to refresh. Uno
Okay.
momento.
I was wondering if it was just me that happened to as well. I was like, was it just me?
Oh, so freaking, we're being haunted here. This is
This
what
is very
happens.
fitting. This is very
Oh,
Alright, can you
we're
hear me? Am I
alone.
echoey or am I good?
You good?
fitting. Your audio source is kind of. Your input is kind of switched again.
Please leave me alone. This is what happens when you don't Diablo race, kids.
It's La Sombra.
Fucking listen. The Dark
It's La
Mistress!
Sombra.
Dark
The
Mistress.
Dark
Anyways,
Mistress!
Sounding okay now?
Yeah.
What about me? Better?
No. Yeah, you're good. Miss Alice, Miss Summers here would like to see you. But I had not permitted her to do so just yet. She is in unstable condition, and she was saying your name.
I'll be right over.
You can hear him nod, but he just kind of ends the call.
Alright, I'm gonna go get Toledo, because I know Toledo's doctor, unfortunately, is there too.
As you move downstairs, Fletcher, you would hear Scarlett sort of crying and sobbing as it kind of echoes the hallway. And as you reach the bottom of the steps, you would feel the shadows here encroach upon the hallway itself, covering any source of light. The tendrils kind of swaying left and right as you pass through the darkness.
I'm gonna draw my gun and flick on my phone's light.
As you point the light against the walls and whatnot, you would see the darkness kind of slink away, dispersing slowly. And as you make your way down the corridor, it's a slow process, as if there was this cold, unnerving presence here that's stopping you, slowing down your movements, but you don't see anything except the shadows moving. Eventually, you get to the door, and all of a sudden, all the darkness kind of just get pulled into whatever crevice they came from, and the lights come back on, and you hear Toledo and Scarlett speaking. Do you enter?
Oh, wait.
You overhear them speaking of blood bonds, and you hear your name being mentioned. The scene continues with Scarlett and Toledo.
What are we gonna do? How do you break this?
Like I said, the easiest way is to find out whatever you're bonded to and destroying it.
I don't know. I only heard.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the labyrinth.
I don't want to go back there.
You don't have to. Me and Fletcher might be able to take care of it. You're gonna be alright. He's gonna put his one arm kind of on her shoulder and kind of pull her in for a side hug. It's alright. We gotta... one thing at a time. We got a lot on our plate. I think we're in a good spot. This ain't nothing we can't handle.
Oh, yes it is, my friend. Yes it is. You hear that voice echo in your head, Toledo.
Did you hear that?
No.
God damn it. I got labyrinth in my ear. This is gonna be annoying as hell.
But the labyrinth followed us here.
This is consecrated ground. I don't know how the hell it got me in here.
That's
We're dealing
something
with
for
some
you to ponder,
serious shit.
Toledo.
But yeah, I mean, there ain't nothing to do but go in there and kill it. Obviously, I'm not in a position to do that right now.
Maybe we just need to take a break for a while. This is all too much.
Let's do that. Also, you need to be very open with us until we figure this out. This thing might be trying to get you to do stuff. It's trying to get me to do stuff, and I ain't even bonded to it. I ain't bonded to nobody.
It's
So
telling
it's
you to
gonna
do
be
stuff.
worse for you. Yeah. So if anything similar happens, you need to let me know. Or Fletcher know.
Okay. I trust you. Fletcher.
Yeah, we need to explain this to him so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Also, I legitimately don't have any other clothes, so you're stuck in that. Let's go.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll step out.
As you open the door, you see Fletcher Wright standing there.
You we
Stoic
dropping
as
on
usual.
us?
We've gotta go.
What happened?
It's the summer, says
Am I still needed?
Yeah, I'm not at my
You-
best. We're gonna need you too. We'll talk on the way. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, get in the car.
Isn't it gonna be suspicious that, you know, one guy doesn't have an arm and I don't have a hand?
We'll figure that out later. Also, you can literally change their memories. You gotta start doing that. You gotta start using that. I'm begging you, Scarlett.
It's time to practice on poor nurses and doctors doing their job.
It's for their own good. We can't fuck up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll follow Fletcher.
Okay. Any conversation in the vehicle as you drive there?
Yes, what is happening?
Alice is awake, apparently. So it might be good news for Emily as well.
Oh, that is good. Do they sound like they're in trouble? Or is it they're just awake?
Not sure.
We got a situation with Scarlett too. She is bonded to something in the abyss, I believe.
The labyrinth.
The labyrinth, yes. Entities bonded to her, so at some point we need to fix that too, because we have all this free time. You know?
Is there any
It's not
other
your
way
fault,
to
it's
break?
fine. I mean, not that I'm aware of. Fletcher, you know another way to break a blood bond?
You stay away from it for a very long time.
So I stay away from the labyrinth for a very long time, even though it's following to us. It was in Toledo's
Yeah, that's why
mind.
we gotta go in there and destroy whatever it is. So then you won't be bonded to anything. It's the quickest, most surefire way to deal with this. It'd help if I knew exactly what it was or who it was, but
It was a lady.
we could figure that out.
I can't remember. It was a lady.
And it wasn't a dark
Wake me up.
mistress. There's two dark mistresses, you're telling me.
It wasn't a dark mistress, right? No, I
The
know.
mistress sisters.
So there's more
Twisted
than one
mistresses.
dark mistress? Maybe there's a third one. Oh, it's gonna be annoying.
There's definitely a third one. We each have an enemy. Fuck, I knew this would happen.
Ah, please stop. So how do you know if you're bonded to something?
You just ask me, let me taste your blood.
What if you don't know that you're bonded to something?
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
I mean, it's like a physical. I mean, I used to have to do like regular checkups. My sire used to check me every so often just to make sure no one else was fucking around with my head.
But you're not doing the checkups anymore?
No one can bond me.
So-
I know better. I'm
So
not gonna go sipping on another Kindred.
Fletcher, I'm gonna go like, so Fletcher, what does bond side effects are? Like if you're suddenly bonded to something or someone?
You see them more favorably, you're more likely to do what they say, and you have a supernatural pull towards them at all times. Think of it like a drug. You get addicted to it, and it's good.
So kind of
Usually
like,
pretty obvious, Scarlett.
so yeah, kind of obvious, kind of like Portia. Oh, you know, out of nowhere enemy, number
Who do you
one,
think Portia's bonded to?
become friends,
Annabelle.
and
I think
then
Annabelle's fucking around with Portia.
no,
I don't want to talk about
I'll
either of
kill her.
those
I'll
two.
fucking kill her if she messes
No.
with her.
no, I thought you hated Portia. You said it plenty of times.
I hate Annabelle
before.
more. I hated Portia like 20 years ago. I'm a forgiving person. I move on from shit. Shit slides right off of me. I don't hold a grudge. I don't have time for that. I got shit
You
to do.
literally turned 180 degrees attitude, which is like number 1, and then you're doing tasks for her. Number 2.
Scarlett,
now-
you think if anything, I'm probably bonded to you. The shit I go through to get your ass out of trouble, I put my ass in line for you every damn day.
Yeah, but you're bad-mouthing me
anything,
every
I'm
time. You
way
can't
bonded to
bad-mouth somebody you're blood bonded. Look at Fletcher and Damien.
Ain't about it. I can badmouth Portia all I want. I just don't feel like it.
Say something bad right now.
I literally, there's no point. It's a childish. We need to focus on getting the Summers
Please,
back and
Fletcher, please.
your bond.
I really don't want to get into this right now.
It ain't worth it. It's fine. Scarlett, I'm fine. I appreciate your concern.
The drive is not very far as you guys arrive at the little complex where Emily's clinic is. But before we get to this scene, we'll pause it right here as we rewind time a few hours, maybe at the end, an hour or two, just at the end of Elysium as everyone exits out of Elysium. But the prince remains with Lucinde. I imagine you'd want to speak to her after Elysium.
Oh yeah.
You are the last person that she actually needs to interview, or will she even? She makes her way up the stairs into your office, or unless you're somewhere outside. Where are you currently? As this Kindred begin to ferry off.
I suspect he's just sitting upstairs, like kind of watching out over everybody as they leave out.
Makes sense. Fitting for the prince. You hear Lucinde's footsteps echo into your room as she takes off her black gloves and puts them in her pocket. She loosens her tie as well.
Lady Lucinde. How was your night?
I thought your kindred would be more disciplined, but many of them refuse to address the situation at hand with cautiousness. Some even dared lie to my face.
They are young. They are learning. I would love to be able to be in a position where we could just call the chaff, but these nights we can't really replenish our numbers quite that way. And the blood is getting weaker and weaker. That would be dangerous. Don't you
Yes.
agree?
Of course. That is another reason why I'm here. The Inquisition. Their presence is within your city, if you do not know already.
I'm aware.
But with current attacks happening, as well as the Masquerade breaches from the previous evening, they will send in their men, more of them to investigate. I meant it when I said there will be no technology in this city. None whatsoever. No computers, no internet, and no smartphones or whatever they call it.
Jackson looks over at his typewriter. He's like, yep.
Make sure those anarchs, who we all know and we all know very well, they won't follow your rules. Make sure they are kept in check.
How do you suppose we do that if you were in charge?
Well, I'd make an example out of them if I was the prince, but I am not. I would simply call them one by one if it were left up to me.
Lady Lucinde, have you ever heard the saying, you catch more flies with honey?
Does this apply to your kindred?
This applies to the world. You see, I could go around and destroying kindred left and right, from the anarchs. And yes, the kindred of Chicago would fear me. Both anarchs, unaffiliated, and those of the Camarilla. But you see, if I started to do that, then more secrets would be hidden. And then when those secrets come out, they'd be far more explosive and far more dangerous to us. I don't disagree that your methods are quite effective, which is why I did not stop you. I didn't want to stand in your way. This is your show. But there is a certain level of compromise that we have to make when we are dealing with other kindred. We do need to handle the Second Inquisition. But those fires can be burned out as long as we can find out our regular Masquerade breachers, or if we can isolate them.
Anyone in mind, she says, her amber eyes glowing.
If. Well, I would have said Genghis, but I think that bridge is burned.
Are you saying this to her or out of character?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I say this out loud.
Yes, destroyed by the coterie who facilitated the Lysander joining of the Camarilla to the Camarilla.
What about that young one? Mal Davis or something? Feed it to the wolves. Not literal wolves, but figuratively speaking. She has a nice little following of kind that she wants to take care of. Burn her.
If that is what you deem necessary for your kindred, if this is your way of dealing with the Inquisition, as long as they stay out of my investigation. Very well.
Lady Lucinde, do you have any plans for this evening?
None at the moment. Nothing has come up. None of my men have returned to report anything unusual.
How about you and me take a ride? Let you see the city. Let me show you some of the sights.
She looks at you coldly. But you can tell that because of you guys are of the same clan, there is that mutual agreement, unspoken, but she simply nods her head. Let me see what the jewel is all about then. Okay. You guys just...
We are going to take a ride to, and specifically all the directions of places that we know where our little coterie has been hanging out. and he starts telling her what he just found out about Scarlett.
Let's play this scene out as you guys are in the limousine, I imagine. And you guys make your way out of the Chicago University. This is partly your domain as well. So you guys start driving north. It's going to be a long, well, not so long, right? But it's going to be lengthy because of certain traffic regulations and whatnot, because of bombing and stuff. But the scene continues with the both of you sitting across from each other or next to each other. It's really up to you. But she says, "You were telling me of your this coterie."
Yeah, I found out some interesting bits recently. Miss Scarlett here apparently has a bit of a sketchy background, to say the least. Involved in the Russian mafia. Was supposed to be the initial deliverance of Elysium with a letter to become part of the Camarilla. This is something I had been working on, but I did not know that she was supposed to be the first messenger. Miss Van Buren was essentially the second coming.
I spoke with Van Burris earlier. She told me in great detail of how the Sombra planned to join the Camarilla, but left out this part.
Indeed, this secret was held out for me until this evening, and I applied a little bit of the Ventrue charm.
Tips of her lips once again curl up. Of course you did. Now what could this possibly mean, Prince Jackson? She crosses her legs now as she puts one over the other. And she kind of lays back easily, hands together on her seat.
Tell me what you found out. They seem to think that your punishment was due to some Sombra neonates that was eliminated in battle.
I have evidence of one of your favorite coterie members ripping door handles and car parts and throwing them at another of your coterie members, of this coterie's members. Well, a black sedan had 2 supposed dead bodies in them. A video was leaked last evening. Had it not been for the Nosferatu, well,
gotta love the Nosferatu. Do we have identification on these bodies?
Sweetie Pepper was his name, or what he likes to be called. Currently in torpor, held in custody by your hounds.
Indeed.
The other one was the other hound, who was promptly carried off as they left the vicinity. 2 talk with Kindred in public.
And any news of our missing Primogen?
A message on the wall written in blood. Perhaps a warning to the Camarilla Kindred of Chicago. But no body. Either they took him captive, or they simply destroyed him.
I'll be honest with you, no one's gonna want to keep Jason around for any extended period of time.
I've heard the rumors.
If it were not a Primogen, I'd say good riddance, but good riddance, but we have to find his killers.
Seems like the lead is either the Anarchs or these jesters. But why would they take Newberry of all Primogen?
That's the part I can't seem to put my thumb on entirely. But the key to unlocking all these secrets are the Lucinde.
It seems so. And they seem to be more problematic by the day. Do you think it's been a good decision? The right one to let them in? At least so far.
I believe that of the surviving Lucinde that are still within our city, they're better off with us than with the Sabbat.
Very well.
I like my enemies all piled up in a circle where I can see them. If the Lucinde are still our enemies. But based on my discussions with Miss Sierra, I don't believe she's our enemy. And I believe that we can find out a few more secrets from the rest of the Sombra in the city.
You mentioned this letter. You told her about the letter, right?
Yes.
If it was supposed to be delivered to you, why was it not?
I am not sure.
A very important matter like this. Perhaps someone is playing very, very dangerous political games in your own city, Prince Jackson.
Indeed, Mr. Sind. And that is why we are going on a ride right now.
You guys pass through the Bronzeville area. You make your way. Actually, where do you take them? Take her first. Well, the most logical place would be the Academy, because it's nearby. But as you guys drive by there, I assume you explain that this is the school where the students. You guys head north to the lower west side. You would know this because Damien had informed you of where Toledo and Fletcher reside.
Yep.
The church, the Trinity Chapel. You pass by there. Lucinde looks. I see. So he was truly a priest.
It would seem so.
Interesting. Do you know of his religious affiliation, or is he simply masquerading as one minister?
I have not been able to get that close to Mr. Toledo. He tends to make jokes and deflections when we speak. I think he thought it was funny to wave his arm around, his arm that he loped off. I was not that entertained. It was actually quite disgusting.
That one talked quite a bit, unlike his sire.
He doesn't know how to shut up. Which is why I trust that he will eventually use his mouth to get him in trouble.
She nods as you guys drive past it and head towards Fletcher's Haven. It's off towards, I believe, the far west side of Chicago. As you guys pass through Emily's clinic, you'd find yourself in East Garfield Park. It looks to be a rather run-down haven, or house, 1 or 2 story house, and it's not very properly kept, as things are kind of falling apart and the grass is either dead or overgrown on random spots. This is where the gangrel resides. Fitting.
Perhaps he's trying to make it a little bit more homey by not taking care of the grounds. I believe that Mr. Wright is loyal to a fault, because I believe his loyalties can be conflicting between his coterie and the Camarilla.
That one wears his medals proudly. From the sector.
As well he should.
Keep him on a tight leash. The limousine rounds out and heads towards the downtown area of Chicago. Now, this is where it gets a little more difficult to deal with security and whatnot, everyone patrolling vehicles and whatnot, but just for you, Prince, go ahead and roll your wits and awareness.
You got it.
See if you spot something very particular.
It's an awareness. Somehow I lost my character sheet somewhere in here. Here it is.
Would you like to willpower 2 dice?
I have no. It's not even worth it this point. Only 2 dice to roll. You know what? YOLO.
You get it back next session.
Yeah, YOLO. Jackson will
So if you get 3.
roll.
Oh, way to come back from that. 4 successes. Damn.
Those willpowers have been doing me right.
As you and Lucinde sort of look around past the security and whatnot, they've set up some sort of stalls entering downtown from the highways and whatnot. But as you guys cross the border, you would notice something off to the right, off to the side, very, very discreetly hidden. Is a vehicle, a black van. Black van that this SUV is very large, too large for a regular SUV to be considered for family use. There's heavy plating. There is no license plate. And there are individuals in there. Through the tinted windows, you can see 1 or 2 of them. They're both looking, they have like this sort of hat on, this little investigative hat, or whatever investigators used back in the day, you would see individuals such as these up on the screen. They wear black brownish trench coats. They have their sort of, what do you call these? Kind of pulled up their necks, and they're looking at every single vehicle with suspicion. You can tell because of your age and your experience. They're probably from the Inquisition. I see they're not being very discreet about their activities. Lucinde says as she gestures to them.
These are the dumb ones.
Interesting. How do you plan to deal with them in the coming nights?
Well, if you're down for some fun. It's been a while since I got my hands dirty.
What do you have in mind?
A little bit of domination. Hostage or two. Maybe learn something.
A more direct approach, I see.
It's not always my style, but I have a just car with me. I'm sure I'm safe.
She genuinely smiles at this point, not with her pearly whites, but just you can see her lips lighten up. I mean, her mood lightens up. Very well. Your city, your rules. Let's see it happen. And I assume you tell the limousine driver.
Pull over.
Okay, all right. The limo kind of pulls over before the security kind of inspect you, and do you pull over right next to them, I assume?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Immediately activate all. Good cop, bad cop.
Lucinde sort of just follows and watches you in this moment, as she is just support for now. Before we get into this, I assume it's going to be quite a few domination roles here, but before we get into this, we're going to pause the scene there and continue the scene at the clinic. As the three of you arrive, you all pile out of your vehicle and you make your way inside. Fletcher, I assume you're taking the lead here.
Yeah, I know where she is, so I'm going straight there.
Okay.
Due to our injuries, maybe you take the lead. I'll be around in case something's weird, but the less questions I have, the better.
I have injuries too, remember? And I'm waving like one of my hand.
Yeah, maybe you
hand.
stay out. Be backup in case we need it.
Then how am I going
Injuries.
to remove? How am I going to remove like their memories or to change it if I'm not there?
You might not have to. We'll see. We'll come out
Just
and
come
get you.
inside. You will have to.
All right, there we go. And I'm gonna
An
vanish.
injury in a clinic is not uncommon.
All right,
Just hide your hand.
I'm hiding my hand. You don't have to tell me.
Toledo will vanish.
Okay, yeah. Easily. And there's no one here to contest that role with, as no one here has auspics. So, you simply, with a snap of a finger, disappear. Scarlett, how do you just simply walk behind Fletcher? Follow him?
I'm going to walk really close to Fletcher, being like his little shadow thing.
Okay. Fletcher, as you make your way inside, the automatic doors open for you, and your coterie members are probably with you, but you see no sight of the assistant, Lori. You find another assistant here instead. Probably the doctor's nurse or something. Excuse me, are you here for...
Alice Summers, yes.
Okay, the doctor has been expecting you. Please, right this way, she said as she gestures toward the end of the corridor. She goes inside for a moment of one of these little hospital clinic rooms. She calls upon the doctor. Doctor promptly leaves the room, enters the corridor, and faces you. He looks very disheveled. His hair is kind of messy. Actually, I'll show you who the doctor is. Where is he? But he looks to be very tall. It's the same individual from last night. You didn't get a good look at him because you were too busy. But he has short hair. He's got like this bright blue eyes. He simply smiles at you as he says, Mr. Wright, I believe.
Yeah.
Miss Lori told me about you. The two are in stable condition, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate for you to see the current state.
I want to say.
He takes his time to ponder if he should allow you or not, but well, since you've made your way here already. Who is this one? And he kind of gestures towards Scarlett. Is he related to them at all?
No, she's just here for to support me.
Then she will remain out here, if that's all right with you.
Are you sure, Doctor? I'm pretty sure you can let me in.
Scarlett, it's best if you stay out here. There's a lot of stuff in there that you probably shouldn't touch.
But Doctor, please, like, I want to They're friends.
I will lower my voice and talk to Scarlett and say, if you get near that fucking equipment and you fucking kill her, I will end you.
This is right, Scarlett.
Okay, I'm gonna stay out here then. The fuck do I even get in here if I'm not going to do anything? Should have just stayed outside the Toledo where it's safe.
Sit down. Please take me to Miss Alice Summers.
Oh, by the way, you may call me Dr. Brock.
Mr. Brock, Doctor, please lead the way.
He kind of just opens the door just down the hallway and shuts it behind him very quickly. He stands there, kind of just cross-armed. You can tell that he's a bit shaken, as without a roll, you can tell he's probably had several cups of coffee. And he's very jittery right now. But for you, Fletcher, the scene kind of pans out as you walk step by step forward, and you see a bed on the other side of the room, in the corner of the room, with a few tools, some gadgets, some machinery there, life support pretty much. You can tell that she has a respirator on her face, whatever it's called, a tube running down to feed her oxygen. You can tell that she's wrapped up in bandages and whatnot. You can see that there is a sort of, what do you call them? The blood bags are being fed into her system at the moment. And there's just all sorts of IV stuff going on to prevent her from whatever it is, her fate. She's not awake. but she is constantly shaking her head, as if she was experiencing a really bad nightmare.
Am I able to go in? I didn't hear you if you're muted.
You're muted if you're trying to talk.
I said, of course, you have to peer through the curtains and whatnot
Yeah,
on the
no,
Ring's
I'm
hospital bed.
gonna go in and pull up the seat next to her and just put my hand over hers.
You hear the breathing. You hear the system pumping whatever it is, and you hear the constant beeping of the machine next to her, monitoring her life state.
Hey, Alice. You probably can't hear me, but for the sake of it, you're okay. Your sister's okay. I'm gonna find the kid too. And I got him. You're safe.
She shakes continuously, her hands trembling. You can feel her fingers twitch as her warmth kind of, coincides with the coldness of your own fingers.
I think I'll just squeeze her hand once and take my leave.
The doctor then says, I'm sorry. We did everything we could, and at least she's stable for now.
She'll live. She's strong. She'll be different. And that's fine.
Can I be honest with you, Mr. Wright?
You're a doctor, it's your job.
He looks defeated in this moment as he says, I was working on her because I knew she had the best chances of survival. But the other one survived too. Somehow. I only had enough time for one patient.
They really... They got a bond that I don't think any of us could understand. I believed in them. They're alive.
Indeed. They'll pull through. It will take them several weeks to perhaps get into some sort of shape, but they will require physical therapy from here on out, at least when they are out of their coma.
I'll be here every time.
Oh, coffee, he says as he gestures for...
No, thank you. Appreciate it, though.
I'll have my assistant watch over them from here on out, but I do need to get back to the hospital after tomorrow.
You continue doing your job. I'll come back and visit soon.
He just nods his head.
I'll head back to Scarlett.
While this was happening, Toledo, if you were invisible, you would have easily spotted the room next to Alice's room.
Yeah, once Fletcher has wrapped up his business, so Toledo will check on Dr. Emily.
Yeah, she's in there. But do you go without Fletcher, or do you just wait for him?
I mean, if he's leaving, I'll just look in the room after her.
Yeah. She's in there. She's also just quiet. Well, I mean, she's in the bed. She's passed out.
Yeah, I mean, if the hallway's clear, no one's gonna see a door moving, I'll slip in.
Sure. As you slip in, you would hear the same thing. You would see the same thing as Fletcher. It's almost identical, except this time it's Emily.
Yeah, I'll just sort of look at the machines, look at her chart, making sure she's gonna pull through.
She looks like she's stable. More stable than Alice. Wonder why.
Yeah, he's gonna remove his cross on his neck, pop it off, just sort of tuck it in the blanket with her. Actually, he'll put it under her pillow. And then just wordlessly leave.
As you took away that cross, you feel her twitch towards your direction. Her face sort of turn. She kind of makes some sort of soft noise. A noise that perhaps is calling out to whoever's there.
Yeah, he'll just sort of lean in. He can still whisper, so he's just gonna sort of whisper, Father Toledo, how you feeling?
She can't speak because of the respirator, but you can clearly tell that she's struggling.
Rest. You need it. And yeah, he'll leave.
Toledo and Fletcher, you guys step out almost at the same time from these rooms. With Scarlett perhaps in the waiting area, just impatiently there.
Let's go.
Finally. Why do I have to go in?
When they're better, they'll need you.
I hate hospitals. Can we just leave?
Yeah, we're leaving Toledo. You're finding the kid.
Well, while Toledo's... I'm gonna go get some rest. Can we just go to the Haven and just...
No. There's a young girl out there who has been alone for an entire night, and I am not leaving her. You can sleep in the back of the car. Toledo, you are finding that kid.
I'm gonna take a taxi to the Haven. You guys do your mission.
Scarlett, this is something very important to us. Why are you abandoning us at this point? I literally spend every waking moment of my life.
No, fuck
trying
it.
to help you
Go,
out.
Scarlett. I haven't got time
Scarlett,
to waste.
come along. You need to see that these things are important. We need to help those we can help. He'll get in the car and... Where was the child taken from?
from Alice's house. I'll take us there. It's not very far.
Sounds good. I'll begin, prepare the ritual for illuminate the trail of prey.
Okay. And the three of you, the coterie, begin to trail Claudia, Alice's daughter. That's a story we have to tell in the next episode, as we get back to the prince, flexing a bit of his dominate. We'll pick up the scene as you lead the way towards these two inquisitors, as they sort of get a little wary with this limousine parked right behind their vehicle. And they see you and this lady approach. Very well-dressed Ventrue. Well, they don't know you're Ventrue, but to them it's a little unnerving. What do you do?
Good evening, gentlemen. I was wondering if this was a Dick Tracy cosplay.
The individual on the driver's seat sort of just eyes you and then eyes the other person. Excuse me?
You know, Dick Tracy, Tommy gun, pinstripe suit, trench coat, investigator.
Is there anything we can help you with, sir?
Yes, I was wondering what y'all doing in my city.
You wait for them to realize. Moments pass very slowly. As the one in the driver's seat, you can see him reaching for something.
Put them down. And that would be a mass manipulate if I need to.
Sure. What do you say?
No weapons. You won't need them.
Okay, you don't need mass manipulation for this. You're one of them, aren't you?
One of what?
No, I can feel it. Yeah. Smug look. That pride you carry. Johnson. He gestures to the other person. An individual kind of quickly pulls up something from below his seat. I assume this is when you do dominate.
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, what I'll tell them is say, no weapons. Take a walk over to my vehicle.
Okay, let's see that rouse check.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, a little hungrier, but you don't need to roll for this, as they sort of are quite unprepared for your mass manipulation. Even though they just figured out you're a vampire. But for the sake of the scene, they simply drop their weapons, get out of their vehicles as their eyes are continually glazed over, and they follow you into the vehicle, into your limousine. These two investigators. They say nothing until they are in the vehicle, and the car is already moving. Ah, fuck!
Lady Lucinde, can you please secure our packages? If you don't mind.
Secure, you mean remove their limbs?
Well, that's one way of going about it, but that would mess up this incredibly expensive and beautiful vehicle. I was thinking more of handcuffs, zip ties, that sort of thing.
I was only teasing. I should perhaps work on my humor. And she begins to, of course, she has a crew tools necessary underneath her trench coat, and she begins to tie up these individuals with whatever restraints she has. These two are very much subdued.
And driver, once we get to someplace safe, can you ensure that we get a message to a Mr. Wright and Damien that we need to do some interrogations.
The ghoul simply nods his head as he perhaps sends a text message from a very old Nokia phone.
And I just take these two, after tying them up, covering their mouths, to somewhere secure so they can be interrogated to find out what we know about the Second Inquisition within the city.
Okay. And as the scene plays out with perhaps, unless you have anything else to say to Lucinde. Well, she has something to say. Do you plan to extract information from these two?
And then their blood, probably, but yes.
I like this hands-on approach. It's less political.
Sometimes we gotta get our hands dirty.
She simply nods with respect to the prince. And the scene plays off as the limousine with these two very old kindred and two very, very frail mortals drive away onto a more secure warehouse. What lies in wait for these two mortals? What lies in wait for these inquisitors? What lies in wait for our kindred? Well, we'll find out next episode on Call of the Abyss. And that's where we'll end this session. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thank you everyone for tuning in, watching our show. But yeah, let's go around the table, introduce ourselves, starting with, I guess, me. Name is Lou. You find me on Crescent's VTM, and Lou is Sleepy on Twitch. Toledo.
Hello, I am Bully. I run things over at Table Goth. You can check out our YouTube for vampire stuff, as well as we're finally using our Twitch again. We're using it for Hades High School, where I will enact my revenge on Prince here. So if you're free on Tuesdays, you should watch some Monster Hearts with a lot of Hades from Super Giant Games flavoring.
I am Ethan. You can find me in about 2 hours' time at Ethan and Dragons on Twitch. We're going to be playing our own Chicago by Night, and keep an eye out because we are going to be announcing when we're running Hallstatt by Night, an Austrian independent game. So keep an eye out for that.
Our dear Prince.
Oh, hey, I am Prince, aka Doubles and Dice around the internet. You can find me on Twitch at Doubles and Dice, as well as Twitter and all the other social medias. You can also follow me and my sister station, where I run Vampire the Masquerade, Philly by Night, as a storyteller on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, over at Roland D's 20s. And then just follow my Twitter for all the other shenanigans I get into, because I am very busy.
And finally, I am Rena, playing as the doomed Scarlett Leon. You can find me on Twitch while you're on my channel. What am I doing? Well, I play variety games Monday to Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. ACST. Schedule's a bit wobbly because I am trying to catch up with my studies. But we got Call of the Abyss every Wednesday, 7 p.m. PST, and tomorrow, City of the Saint. It's another Vampire the Masquerade game. We'll be streaming Thursdays, starting 6 p.m. EST. God, there's so many time zones. And again, we are doing a final call for the cast of Cradle of Cain. That's going to be every Tuesdays, 8 p.m. EST. But we will be pre-recording, so if you are interested, just hit me up on my Twitter, and I'll put you on the list. And then, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you had a very good night listening to Prince torture us and Louis. But yeah, tomorrow we'll see you next week. I am a professional streamer.
You got this. I believe in you.
This has been Call of the Abyss. Goodbye.